Actually, Gabby, off. You done. And you want to leave too? This is how our relationship goes. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. All right, welcome back. Tonight is debate night, Wednesday, December 18th. Anyone that wants to join the stream, you know what to do. You're not new here. Go ahead and click the first link in the YouTube channel to go ahead and join the stream. We are debating about anything you want to debate about. Politics, dating and relationships, religion. I mean, not so much religion, but like, you know, if you're an atheist, I'll debate you. If you believe like, you know, the black woman is God, I'll debate you. If you got like that weird religion, come on in, click that link. The next link is in the description is going to be for the membership. If you like this podcast, you want to keep on supporting it, click the second link. We got 3 tiers: gang, hitman, and mob ties. You join any of those tiers, you are locked in. You family, you know what it is. The next link is going to be for merch. We sold out of the Mr. Man glasses. I got to restock back up. But we do have the God over man, man over woman, and woman over children t-shirts. Go ahead and cop the merch, man. I think we already sold out of the merch 3 times. No, twice already. So this is the 3rd time. The next link is going to be for one-on-one coaching. And then we got the Discord channel as well, and also the Clips channel. Go ahead and join the Clips channel, man. We posting clips on there daily. I got my squad on there posting clips. So support the channel, click that link, and, you know, continue to watch the channel grow. They've been trying to suppress us in the algorithm, but, you know, we're not going nowhere. It continues. Okay. So anyone that wants to join the stream, remember, go ahead and click that first link. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Everyone on Facebook, if you want to join the stream, you got to come on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazi Podcast on YouTube, or just type in David Cooley. And then if you click on the description, you can go ahead and click that first link and I'll bring you on up. All right. I got a few clips from the supporters that we're going to be reacting to. But before I do that, it looks like we got someone in here that's okay. Camera, make sure your camera and audio is on. Camera looks good, but make sure your audio is on. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on up. And anyone else that comes in, make sure your camera and your audio is on. And I'll bring everyone on up. But if you come in here and your audio or if your camera isn't on, if I just see a black screen, because once you come in, you go to like this hallway part. And if I see a black screen, I'm not letting you up. Your camera has to be on in order to join the stream. All right, let's get him on up.
That isn't go.
All right, welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name and where you from.
What's good? I'm Rich from Simp and His Dad, Bronx, New York.
Cool. And are you here to debate?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we could debate. We could chop it up. I just want to, you know what I mean? I want to get into the topics of the show. You know, you just started. So I don't know how you run the format. I'm thinking that you're going to probably cover a couple topics.
Yeah, I normally do that. So you could if you don't have anything off bat you want to debate, that's cool. I'll go ahead and put you back in the waiting room. But so normally what I do is I'm gonna go through a few clips that some of my supporters sent me. I'm gonna react to a few clips. If anything pops up that maybe you think you want to take on, or you have a different opinion than mine, then you see that private chat in here?
For sure.
You just let me know in a private chat and I'll bring you back on up.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let's get to some of these. And I've seen a wheel come up in here too, but your camera wasn't on. So your camera has to be on. And remember, anyone that's new to debate night, I'm here for all the smoke. So we're here to debate really. But I'm going to go ahead and react to some clips. But this podcast is big. So you've seen the things that I've been saying. You know my worldview. I mean, most of y'all should know my worldview. If you disagree with my worldview or any of my takes or my opinions or perspectives, click the link, first link in the description, and just let me know. Say, hey, Cooley, this is my stance on this. I heard you say this, and this is what I disagree with. And then we can go ahead and get into the debate. But all right, let's get into some clips. People been sending me a lot of stuff that they want my reaction to. So I'm not sure what it is. I didn't look at it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it and let's see what's up. Okay, so this is going to be the first clip we're going to react to. Okay, let's go ahead and run this back real quick.
Let's be real. College ages 18 and 22. How is it this many big bag women that young? What school is this? Big Bag University? FSU, Fupa State University? TRTU, Thighs Rub Together University?
Hold up. Why these all look like the same girl? Is this just like clones? Is this a video loop? I gotta bring this back because they all look like the same chick. This can't be different women. 1 second. Let's bring this back to make sure.
Real. College ages 18 and 22.
Oh, nah, that's a different chick than that one. I don't know. Chat, let me know.
How is it this many
Oh, yeah, that is different women because they doing different things.
big bag women that young? What school is this? Big Bag University? FSU, Fupa State University? TRTU, Thighs Rub Together University? SILU, Stomach and the Leggings University? And they lucky they going down the steps versus up the steps. They probably would have passed out. NCU, No Cardiovascular University. WTU.
Homie going in with the jokes. Oh, man. This is definitely not a loop. These are these many fat black women. This is unhealthy. High cholesterol running all through the screen right now.
Waist Trainer University. You know they got unlimited flex points at the calf. They in there 4 times a day. BPU, Body Positivity University. XXXXL University. But now,
Homie said, he's funny. Homie said XXXXL University.
all seriousness, this is ridiculous though. Like, what are y'all doing in high school and college, and what are the eating habits like? I gotta look at the parents. They said HBCUs got the baddest women out, not the fattest women out. I'm transferring. Like, it's one thing if you had a couple kids working 9 to 5, and you.
Yeah, this is unhealthy that, I mean, this isn't all black women, but I think there are statistics on it. Black women are the most obese, overweight women, I believe. Let's see. I'm going to Google it real quick. Who's the most overweight demographic? Let's see what Google says. Oh, and it does. Let's go ahead and stop sharing that. And let's go ahead and share Google so y'all can see what I'm saying. Yeah, for sure. In the United States, non-Hispanic black adults have the highest obesity rate, followed by Hispanic, non-Hispanic, whites, and then Asian adults. Let's see here. Then we also have, does it go by gender though? I mean, let's see. Other factors that contribute to obesity include adults with, age, all right, location, of course. All right. Okay. Yeah, it really doesn't give me the gender. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fat black niggas too. So, black people as a race, not looking too good, man. You got to be healthy. I literally just came from the gym, drinking a shake right now. I'm doing great myself. 6'4", 205. So, with that being said, let's get to another clip. This one was funny, man. Whoever sent this in, I see why y'all sent it, and y'all probably wanted my take on it. Yeah, being fat is unhealthy, man. It's not good for yourself. It's not good for your self-preservation. It's not good for you finding a mate. It's not even good for your children. I mean, I'm sure there's health complications if you're giving birth and you're obese. Many health complications. So, overall, not good. Okay, stop sharing that. Let's get to another clip. see what they sent in. Okay, what we got? All right, here's another clip. Let's go ahead and bring this back, and we're going to see what homie talking about. Oh, internet is trash right now. What's going on?
Opportunity as everybody else, as black people,
Yeah, 100%.
with a 200-year economic head start on us.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes, I do. Have you ever heard of generational trauma, generational wealth?
Where you
How
come
can
from?
you build something when my people come from nothing? I come from South Memphis.
And I come from Stop 6.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I went to university.
What
you went
does
to university.
comparison mean?
Quick.
Statistics say that we are behind.
Some people are behind. We're not behind. Why? Because we make positive decisions.
Yeah, so what you're witnessing right here is a young black man suffering from the victim mindset. It's an illness. It's a sickness. It's a plague that plague many people for a long time, but specifically black people in America. The victim mindset is a illness. He's in college right now, and he still thinks that he's oppressed.
You can have a full deck of great cards and you play them poorly, you won't make it in life. You can have a bad hand. You play them strategically and you play them right, you'll do good in life.
Good point. Good point.
You had a not so good hand growing up where you grew up at. You made positive decisions that led you here. Everybody don't have a freaking silver spoon in their mouth. America is the only place.
They proportionately
Who
do.
is they? Are you saying white people? Brother,
Yes.
you in the same situation.
Oh yeah, he getting emotional too. Homie looked like he was about to cry, but they do. They get more handouts. They're in front of us in a race. Y'all, man. Y'all are witnessing victim mindset. Yo, I wish, because the truth is this. I won't say all black people, but it's a large percentage of us, especially growing up. We've all suffered, not we all, but a large percentage of us has definitely suffered from some form of victim mindset, meaning that we want to blame the white man for our circumstances. And sometimes our circumstances are great, but we still just want to blame the white man just because. It's like, yeah, a white man, it's all your fault why it's dark right now. Come on, bro. Let's continue to play this.
Situation is all these white people and you
Am
playing
I?
the victim.
Am I?
You at the same
Am I?
university?
What does the same university have to do with anything?
You go to the same classes?
I had a 4.3 GPA in high school.
What's your GPA now?
3.6.
Brother, what's holding you back then?
That's the point. Everybody doesn't have a 3.6.
What is he talking about?
Everybody
Did
is
you
not.
just get a 3.6 because you woke up one day? You studied, didn't you?
Right, no, I
What?
actually did.
You didn't study.
No.
So then you have a gift that you
Yeah, he has a gift. That's the thing. Like,
can go and make a 3-point something and don't even study. The bottom line is that if you study, you work hard, you play the cards that you're dealt properly, you will be successful.
You think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start on us?
You don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes, I do. Have you ever heard of generation?
yeah, so that I think that's the end of that video. So, I mean, he said a lot of things there, this young man. And what he's just suffering from the victim mindset. He can't see outside of his own little box. He's been socially constructed. His mind has been socially constructed to believe that we're being systematically oppressed still, currently in 2024. And it's trash. Normally, this mindset comes from many things, the education system, when our history, the only history that black people know of that's being taught in school, is slavery. It's not about really anything else. It's all about when we were slaves. So that does do something. That the education system does play a part in forming the victim mindset. Not only that, the separation from church and state, meaning that we live in a secular world currently right now, that definitely plays a part into it. Not only that, but black people Most of us come from single parent homes, single mother homes at that. So then you're being raised with an emotional woman that doesn't have a masculine man to help, mold her worldview or, give her any guidance. So yeah, and that bleeds on to the children. So he's thinking like, oh, I seen my mother go through all of these struggles. That's the white man. I'm born and raised in this hood. That's the white man. I'm born in this certain situation. That's the white man. He doesn't realize that, bro, you're in America. It's a first world country. You are doing better than most people in the world. Like you have a full head start in the world. So this is what happens when you have an individual where he only has a perception. A perception is a unique experience. Everyone has one, but it's like your own little box. He lacks the ability to have a perspective, to see outside of his own little box. And if he had a perspective, he would be able to see like people in Africa, people in, South America, Brazil, and all of these third world countries. It's like very bad. They don't even have clean water. They can barely, find enough calories to keep their bellies full. So yeah, it's like he doesn't even notice these things. So he's just harping on, past things that he never even experienced, that, his ancestors experienced. Okay. Whoever sent that, we getting a lot of black stuff today. Who's ever sending in these clips, the supporters. The first clip was, a bunch of fat black chicks, and this one is a guy suffering from the victim mindset. We got Commentary King. He back in here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up if you have anything to speak about. Simping is dead. If you want to join in the conversation, just send in a private chat. Let me know. Anyone else that wants to go ahead and join the stream, go ahead and click the first link in the YouTube description. We're here for all the smoke. Any topics you want to debate about, you're welcome. So don't be scared. Come on up. Click that link. All right, let me stop sharing that. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name. Where you from?
How you doing? I'm the Commentary King. Can you hear me?
I could hear you good, man.
Awesome.
What's up?
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. What you here to debate about today?
Let's do religion. Let's do it. I just got done actually from a cruise where I was a speaker at a conference for black folks that don't actually have religion, ironically enough. So I think that'd be most appropriate.
Okay. And what, area would you like to debate in religion?
So actually, I want to tackle
I don't claim to be a religious scholar or anything. So it all depends on how you want to do the debate. But go ahead. What you say?
Yeah. So you do have a bit of merchandise, and it has a bit of a hierarchy with God over man, man over wife, wife over kids, and that sort of thing. So there is some sort of promotion you do have with Judeo-Christianity, correct?
I mean, that's just, we could say it isn't even Christianity. I mean, that could be, Muslim, that could be, Jewish. I think all of the Abrahamic faiths believe in that order. But okay, sure, what you want to debate about?
So if you yourself, as you just prefaced, you really don't have a whole lot of religiosity, how do you square that circle, as it were? How do you sell that concept, which is, it's not strictly, Abrahamic or Judeo-Christian, but if that is something that you're leaning into and referencing, then that comes with all the trappings, right? Of having the goal of being equally yoked in marriage with another believer. But is that actually beneficial to black folks? Since we're, just looking at some of the clips from college.
Okay, so you're pretty much saying, okay, so you're saying, cool, hey, you have this, this hierarchy of system of beliefs, and how is it beneficial? How can it benefit black people? Is that your question? I don't really understand the question.
But from your perspective, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I think that benefits all people. That hierarchy. I have, women on a panel, and I just test their logic with asking them a few questions, like if they believe in God or if they believe in, people tend to be spiritual sometimes. They may not believe in the Abrahamic faith, but they do believe that there is a higher power, meaning an entity outside of this time, space, and matter that is, you know, kind of watching over everything. With that being said, they believe that, you know, that higher source, that higher power is above us. They understand that, you know, men are stronger than women from a physical standpoint. They understand that, you know, women are stronger than children from a physical standpoint, stronger and wiser. And generally speaking, men stronger and wiser than women. Generally speaking, God stronger and wiser than men. So that's just tends to be the hierarchy of truth. If you want to debate what I just said, then we could go into that. But that just tends to be the hierarchy of truth.
Well,
when
yeah,
I look at it.
I'm kind of confused. So the metric we're using here is strength, physical strength in particular. How do we measure the strength of an entity that does not have a corporeal form?
Yeah, so now you're speaking about God, right? So
Right.
How could we measure the strength? Well, from my belief, right, I think that God isn't bound by time, space, or matter, that he's in it, beyond it, and through it. So, you know, God created all of this from my worldview. So, of course, he has the Thanos snap. He could make it all appear and make it all disappear if he wanted to. So that would be strength. I wouldn't even say strength fully in the physical sense as well, but I would say from the mental capacity as well. Like when we look at it, when I'm speaking about strength, it's like, okay, who's better at, generally speaking, who's better at regulating their emotions? The mother is better at regulating her emotions than the child. The man is better at regulating his emotions better than a woman. And then we have to say God is, you know, better than all of us. So even when I look at it from any standpoint, that tends to be the hierarchy. That tends to be the natural order of truth.
Okay, so if we're sort of switching metrics here to the regulation of emotions, when have you observed a deity, any deity, regulating its emotions in your personal life?
Oh, when have I observed that? I've never observed it.
We switch from strength to regulation of emotions, but when has that been demonstrable to you personally? That you promote that on a T-shirt.
For sure, it's a belief. It's hope. You know what I mean? So I don't believe in nothing. I believe that there is an entity that's the almighty, powerful God, and where I lack at, he packs at. He doesn't have my lacks. So from that worldview and that belief, it's no proof. So the question is, you know, where's the proof? I could just, you know, concede and say there's no proof.
There is no proof
as far as for that question that you answered, that you asked.
Don't you think that's interesting? If there's actually no proof for that proposition, right?
Yeah.
Then why would you promote that on a T-shirt?
There's many things that we don't have proof for. Like, we really don't have proof for, you know, a multitude of things. Do we have proof that, okay, can we like literally see air? No, we can't see air, right? Can't see it at all. We could see the effects of it, meaning that if something blows, we see the effects of, you know, the physical effect of it.
Right.
But we actually don't see it. With different technologies and stuff, we can, all right, you know, air, H2O, whatever, carbon dioxide. I don't know I'm not a scientist, but
sure.
whatever the gases is that makes up air.
Yeah.
Mostly what? Nitrogen?
It's most of our air is a lot of nitrogen.
Yeah, nitrogen. Okay, cool.
But the interesting thing is that what you're referencing are things that are demonstrable, right? That's in the empirical natural world. But when you're trying to compare that to a supernatural deity that's not bound by empiricism, that you have a completely separate metric there. There's no way for you to actually measure the supernatural, but you keep comparing it to the natural. So how is it that we're making these claims, these knowledge claims, when you have no empirical basis for them?
There's a lot of things that, okay, so like when I think about this, right? So we could stay on the proof. That's your thing. You're like, okay, coolly. You're harping on, you know, well, you're promoting this hierarchy, but at the top of it, you have no proof of any of this stuff. So like, there's many things that we don't understand, but we know that like it's true. Like we don't fully understand like consciousness. like we could measure it to an extent if you put someone through like a,
So an MRI or something.
an MRI and stuff like that. We can measure things to a degree, but we don't fully have a 100% understanding of it. If we did, we'll be able to take consciousness from a human being and put it into machines, or take a consciousness from one body and then put that consciousness into another body. So we don't fully understand consciousness at all, but we know that it's true because we are conscious beings. I say that to say, since we know that we are conscious beings, then because we're conscious, that's proof. And then since we're conscious and we don't really understand, okay, this shell that we are in, how did we truly get here? When you meet a woman and you have sex with this woman unprotected and this woman gets pregnant, it's like, oh, this physical being was created, but where did this consciousness come from? I didn't put this consciousness in here. Me and her didn't talk about it to get that in there. So it must be an entity outside of all of this that's putting the consciousness in there, which we can say, expound on, and then say spirit or soul. You know what I mean? So we don't have proof for all of these, sci-fi, other dimensions type of things that we, subconsciously and consciously experience. But we know that it is true.
Okay, so I think we can assert that things are true. Absolutely, I think anyone can assert any claim is true. But whether or not
even just assert. It's what I'm trying to say is,
what we're doing.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't have all the answers to things, and you don't either, right? For this topic, we just don't. So when we're speaking about this, is okay, I don't fully understand this, but I do know that I am conscious. Like if you ever had surgery before and you had to get put under anesthesia.
I have.
You have, right? And it was a weird experience. Like once that needle went in and, the anesthesia went in your veins, you just kind of fell unconscious. And then 45 minutes or however the surgery took, 2 hours, 4 hours, you woke back up. You're like, what the freak was this? And mind you, when you was unconscious, you had no recollection of time. Like the time was almost instance. It was that you were awake and then lights went out, it got dark, and then you woke back up. But 2 hours passed. You get what I'm saying? So that's a form of us knowing that, okay, we are conscious and we can measure it to a degree. So if we know that this conscious isn't bound by matter, really the only matter that it is bound by is our bodies, our shell, right? But okay, so if the shell isn't there, does the consciousness just fade away? We don't know.
So and I was actually going to get on that point because
okay, let's get on that point.
Let me start by saying I don't think there is some way to quantify the amount of knowledge anybody can have about any topic. I wouldn't even know where to begin to try and measure our knowledge about a broom or anything.
Yeah.
So when I don't really understand.
You breaking up. Couldn't hear the last 10 seconds. I couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Now can you hear me now? There we go. Is that better?
You're frozen and you're chopping up.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Here we go. Okay. So what I was saying essentially is that I don't think there's a way.
Yo, it's happening again. Why don't you try exiting and coming back in? Because from my end, I do show that you have good Wi-Fi connection. There's nothing wrong with your Wi-Fi connection from my end, but it could be something with, no, actually it is something wrong with your Wi-Fi connection. It's showing red on my end. So
okay,
check
let me reload.
Yeah, reload and come back in. I'll bring someone else on up. Cool. So we talking about religion right now, already off the bat. Okay, I like that commentary, King. Asking those hard questions that Cooley has to admit that he doesn't actually have proof for, but which is okay. All right, let's see. Let's bring some more people up. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name. Where you from?
Zigzag, New York, Queens. What's going
Okay,
on? Can you hear me?
Zigzag. I can hear you good. What you here to debate about, man?
All right, so here's my first question because what I'm gonna be basically talking about or trying to actually figure out is if like the stuff that you're basically speaking on, do you understand what you actually speak on? So first, this is what I want to know. Do you, in your opinion, feel like you've ever spoken about anything in your channel original or nobody's ever heard of?
Say that. Say the last two sentences you cut out.
All right, I'm gonna cut this off, but can you hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just say the last two sentences you said.
All right, so what I was saying is have you ever spoken about anything original, breakthrough, or something nobody has ever heard of in your channel about any particular topic?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I do random debates like this, man, where we have, we bring up people and we just have random conversations, just like I did with Commentary King. So, I mean, possibly. I don't really believe that there's any true original thought out there. I believe that influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. Most of the things that people thought of or think of, they've been influenced by to some capacity to think of it. So, or it's been said by someone maybe the same way or a different way. So to answer your question, possibly not, but get to your point. What's up?
All right, so yeah, well, the reason I'm even asking that is because I'm listening to a few of your talking points on different shows, but it just sounds a lot of like, let's say, Jesse Lee Peterson stuff. Are you a fan of Jesse Lee Peterson?
Nah, I know of Jesse Lee Peterson, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Jesse Lee Peterson. Nah, he's like an older dude.
It sounds like you consumed a lot of his content and then just like spun it around, originated, and then just like speak about it on your channel, which is not a problem. But I mean, you have a debate night, so that's why I'm going to kind of like try to get to the root core of like where you're basically rooting from. But
yeah,
you say a lot. Like I heard in a couple of clips, you say, not all. That's a lot of stuff that he says. Plus the, man over woman, women over kids, and then that whole religious order. It's all stuff that I've heard from his channel, so that's why I wanted to know if you got all that stuff from.
No, not at all, man. I haven't watched a full episode or anything of him at all, but I've known of him maybe for a little bit. But how the thing is my mantra is influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. So we've all been influenced by someone to a capacity. Let's think about like, for instance, Drake. The reason why Drake was so acceptable, because when he came out, he sounded like Lil Wayne. He had the same monotone voice, like when I was like that same voice. You're like, this sounds familiar. He sounds likable. So he sounds similar. Was Drake a huge Lil Wayne fan? No, when you talk to him, he's like, no, he was like a Common fan and like an Andre 3000 fan. Really, I think those was his like real motivations or something like that, or influences, and Jay-Z. But he doesn't sound like those people. But to answer your question, like I said before, no, I don't watch him at all. But let's get to the point of like what you want to speak about. What do you see, or what do you want to debate about?
Well, do you feel like you see the world for how it is or for how you are?
How it is, or for or for how I am. To be honest, it has to be a little bit of both. I don't think anyone sees the world for exactly 100% for how it is. Reason being is because we are human beings and we are emotional beings, logical beings as well. So it doesn't matter how much we want to rationalize or, look at things logical. Our own experiences to a degree is still going to, make up for our perspective on things.
Okay, so are you a religious person?
I mean, I wouldn't say I am. I say that I believe in God and I believe in Jesus Christ. Like if I'm gonna believe in the Messiah, I'm gonna say that, you know, I might as well believe in Superman, the dude that had all the powers and stuff like that, not Batman. Like Batman is cool, that's my dog, but Superman is always much more cooler.
I agree. I like Batman too.
Okay, man. Get to your point. Explain to me exactly what you want to debate about. It seems
Well,
like you're
I'm gonna get to the point, but I don't want to miss. I'm gonna get to the point, but I don't want to misunderstand you. That's why I was asking you a few questions before I like get into what I want to talk about. But
makes sense.
What
That's
is God?
perfectly
Because
fine.
you said you're not a. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Yes. You said, "What is God?"
Yeah. What is God? What is God?
God is the almighty, powerful being that's not bound by time, space, or matter.
Okay, and I heard in a clip you were talking about that we are spiritual beings, having a human experience. Can you tell me what that means? Like, why did you say that, or what does that mean to you?
I've never said that.
Yeah, I have a clip of you saying that we're spiritual beings. That we're spiritual beings, and
we
we're
are.
not, we're having a
I didn't
human
say that
experience.
second part. We are spiritual beings, but I never said that second part. That's not a quote.
I don't know if it's
from
my
me.
internet or yours, but it's like choppy.
It's not my internet. There could be a delay between us.
My internet here is fine, but I'm just trying to figure out if it was mine or yours. That's like, because I've seen myself. I'm not freezing, but you're like choppy, so I'm trying to figure out why that is.
Probably your internet, because from my end, everything is fine. And I also see I could actually check your internet. From my end, my system on Restream is showing that your internet is like, it says it's okay. It's in a green, but it's not bad. But it's not great. So maybe it could be something on your end. But let's just go ahead and spill it out, man. Get to the point, the root of what you want to debate about.
Well, yeah, but that's why I started with, I want to know if what you speak on, you know what you're actually speaking on, or if it's just regurgitated stuff. That's why I was asking you the questions
I come
at
on
first,
here
because you were talking about consciousness, you were talking about a bunch of stuff with the other guy, but when you say we're spiritual beings, and you know God is outside of space and time, and then you said that when you are put under anesthesia, you lose perception of time. Doesn't that tell you that? I mean, because what you said consciousness, but as a human being, you may be conscious, but are you self-aware? That's the problem, because there's moments where it's either you go to sleep or you fall asleep. Now, I'll make this example. If I'm walking outside in the yard, I'm conscious, right? But I'm not aware that there's a log on the floor. I'm just gonna fall and like bust my face, right? When you dream at night, there's a level of self-awareness that would like have you be lucid or aware of what you actually are at a fundamental, state. But
that's called conscientiousness.
now, when we talk about like, let's say the dream state where we're living our reality, according to like quantum science, how do you know history even exists?
Yeah, I know what you're speaking about. You're speaking about being aware, and that's conscientiousness. That's the state of conscientiousness. So we are conscious beings, but conscientiousness. So that means that we are being conscious beings, but we also have awareness. We are aware of our surroundings and stuff like that. And there are people on this planet that have higher IQs and higher aperture, where they are more conscientious than other beings. For example, the difference between men and women, right? Men, we are better at spatial awareness. We just have more spatial awareness than women do. So that's a form of we are more conscientious in that area than they are. For example, women, well, we can get to the why, but that's just our biology is different. But, for example, women just are not really that good with directions, generally speaking. That's just make a general statement, right? Men tend to be better with directions than women are. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying on that. But that doesn't really dispute any of the points that I made thus far, as that we are conscious beings.
Okay, but why do you say men have more awareness or spatial awareness than women? Where did you get that?
this scientifically proven. You could Google it. The psychologists know it. We have more, and there's other things that women, women happen to be more socially aware than men are. They can pick up on body language and social cues just naturally. They have this natural propensity for it, meaning that it's in their nature. But men, we have to like learn these skills. It's like, we kind of have to be more aware and kind of learn these skills. But the same thing for women, for them to have, more spatial awareness, it doesn't really come natural to them. They have to like learn these things. So there's many, advantages and disadvantages between the genders when it comes to the biology between the two. But I see everyone. Give me 1 second here, my man. We got Wesley Curry. I see you in here. Gonna bring you on up. We got House of Hypocrites. We got Kevy Kev. We got SMG Drizzle. We got Beans. Gonna bring you up here shortly. Okay, Zigzag. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the root. Maybe what you want to debate about so we can get things popping.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that when we say we're talking about women, we're talking about men. Men, you don't think that because it's on the positive side of the spectrum, and that's basically the patriarchal system that we're in. Do you think that maybe that's why men have more of an awareness here, but women have other capabilities that men don't have?
Well, culture plays an effect. That's the nurture versus nature argument. I was speaking about the nature of men and women from a biological standpoint. You brought up culture, like, nurture. Yeah, there's many things that men and women can be nurtured into having to, taking on different, proclivities. For sure, to a degree. But when we're speaking about the biology, there's no argument. We're different as far as, our biological makeup. Men are higher in testosterone, which, that's a big influence to how we see the world. Women are higher in estrogen, which is a big influence. Just the simple fact of even how we use our left and our right brains. Women tend to use a certain part of their brain where they're looking at things more through an emotional lens because the chemical balance of the estrogen. Men are looking at things more in a, strategic, logical, and tactical manner because of the chemical balance with the testosterone. So there's many things that play part that's nature of what I'm speaking about. Nurture, as far as, being socially programmed to have different, tendencies as far as patriarchal and type of stuff like that, yeah, for sure. But the patriarchy is a natural order to things. That's just how it is. That's nature. That's not anything that's a social construct. You disagree with that part?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. It's really choppy, but I'm just gonna ask you one last question, and I'll let you get somebody else in. But you said you're a top tier guy,
Okay.
right? And you said that one of the traits
really
was that
hear
you're
me
tall.
then.
Yeah, it sucks, man. The internet is. I don't know if it's the app or because my internet shows like it's perfect over here. So
Yeah. All right, man. That could be one of them, but all right. It's hard to have a conversation with you because I said some things there, but you didn't really give a rebuttal. So real quick, before you get to top tier man and stuff like that, do you believe that the patriarchy is a natural order, or is that a social construct?
no, the patriarchy is symbolic in as far as nature goes. It is natural. But here's
Okay.
the thing, though. It's socially constructed as far as it being applied to genders. See, the feminine and masculine energy has nothing to do with genders. Those are just energies. You have masculine and you have feminine energy within you, just like you have testosterone and you have estrogen. But the whole thing is that when you see that it says Christ in man, that Christ is a consciousness. That's not an exterior God to you. That's an energy you raise from the lower natures of your own physical body. But when you see, let's say, for example, man over woman, it's not a hierarchical order over, like, meaning like the woman is any less than the man. In physical form, she's weaker, but it doesn't mean anything as far as her being any less than that. I don't know if that's what the hierarchical order that you're speaking about means, Because if you look at it, the sun, if you look at what Christianity is basically talking about the sun. So everything revolves around the sun. The sun has chaotic order over the chaotic nature. I mean, order over the chaotic natures of like the feminine planet. So it's the same way we see everything symbolically. We anthropomorphize it here, and we say things like man created in the image of God. And then like some people say that, and I'm like, well, what does that even mean? Actually, can you actually answer that? What does man created in the image of God even mean?
You said a whole lot of stuff there, man. I want to, maybe give an input on a few of the things that you said. I'll get to that point last. Just remind me if I forget. So, in regards to the patriarchal system, that's natural. It's, man is above woman. Man is above women. That's just on every area, generally speaking, on every area. Not only that, the women want a man to be above them. Like women naturally, they have a natural proclivity to want a leader. They don't want a dude. If you ask, I do a panel of women. I talk to girls. I talk to over 1,000 women. And even from before anything is structured, anything is built, like before a nation is built, a relationship is built, right? So if we're even speaking about a relationship, because that's when things get started, for us to procreate and stuff like that. So even from a man and a woman that's going to mate, women have a natural proclivity to look for someone that's superior than her on all levels. They want a man that's more let me finish real quick. Generally speaking, if they had a choice, right? Generally speaking, if these women had a choice, let's take away the social constructs. Let's take away all of the nurturing, and let's just look at the nature from what they truly would yearn for. Generally speaking, women want a man that's taller, stronger, and more competent. That's what they want. They want a man that's able to, even looking at it from a emotional standpoint, they want a man that's, a warrior, a beast that can protect them. But they also want that man to have to be gentle enough and have the ability to regulate his emotions enough to where when she bears a child, she can feel safe that he's not just going to, KILL that child, that he's actually going to protect that child as well and her. So meaning that they don't just want it from a physical standpoint. They want the man to be superior from an emotional standpoint too, because they're dealing with hell in their head. Women deal with hell in their head because they're so emotional. They got all of these thoughts. They're overwhelmed with thoughts. So they look for a man so that man can be the rock for her to cry on or to put her emotions on. So I'm not speaking nonsense when I say that, no, we are above women in every facet, in every area, generally speaking. Now, it's not to say that there's not outliers. Of course, there's outliers. It's not to say that with the social programming and women being nurtured by feminism and all of this stuff, has it altered their mind and stuff? Yeah, these chicks be saying I'm an independent boss babe, but really when you take all of that nurturing away, they want a leader. They want to follow a man's lead. But listen, what was that? I want to get someone else in. What was that last question that you had? I said, don't forget about it.
Yeah, we were talking about top tier stuff. I mean, there's so much I can actually I don't disagree with the stuff you spoke on there, but there's still many variables that can actually go into. But I'm sure that we're not going to have time to talk about it. For sure. So is there a way to get in contact with you so that maybe I can actually have a debate where it's just me and you debating?
Yeah. So
we're actually going to talk about the top tier thing.
Yeah, just contact me on Instagram at No Fugazi Podcast on IG. Send me a message. My assistant will look at it, and then we'll set it up where we'll pick a topic and we can have a back and forth on it, one-on-one for at least half an hour or 45 minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead and get to some more callers, brother. Have a blessed one. Cool. All right, let's get some more people up. Let's see. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name and where you from.
Yeah, my name Kevin, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, Kev, from Cleveland, Ohio. You here to debate?
Yeah, I was tuning in, and I just got 2 questions or 2 points for the debate.
Okay, what's your 2 points?
Do you believe that perception is reality?
Oh, no, perception. It's perception is not reality. Reality is very, very hard to explain. Perception is your reality, and if you have a wide you said perception. Normally, perception is the person's reality of how they view the world. That's what I would say.
Okay.
So it's only how the individual views the world. So all of us, the unique thing about all human beings is that we all have a different perception. We all perceive things differently. If we all say me and you on a train and it's 50 of us on a train, me, you, and 50 other people on a train, that train flips over, none of us dies. But it's so tragic, we're all going to perceive things differently. It could be 20 people that never want to ride a train again. Me and you may be fine. We be like, oh no, nigga, we hop on the next train. But it's gonna be people that may have PTSD from it. So perception is unique, meaning that it's unique to each individual and is different.
Okay. So my next point would be when the delivery of how you say God over men, men over women, women over children. I think that from the last two guests, the point that they're really trying to make is in stating that hierarchy, it stems from a belief system, and then looking at that consciousness and that source, the model that you're explaining with having that, I think that we're missing the fact of the leadership aspect, just being involved with, you have men and you have women, but I wouldn't say that the man would be over women in the sense of purpose. When somebody is following their gift or following their God-given purpose, there's no being over a person, because we wouldn't be in a sense created in that sense. We're not created in a sense to dominate over people. We've been created in a sense to dominate in our area of gifting or that initial purpose that we have. So in the sense of, let's just say I have a purpose, you have a purpose. And let's just say we have daughters and they grow up, and they're going to want to figure out what is it that I'm here to do. And in the sense of, say we're all in the job title, or just like in a pool of in competition for work.
Okay.
How can you differentiate the two in a woman having her purpose, what she feels she's actually here to do, compared to a male having his purpose and what I'm here to do? Why would you create, why would you be how could you create, I feel like you create like.
So I think I get what you're saying. You're saying how can you have this order of hierarchy when every individual has a purpose? How can every individual truly follow their purpose if someone is above them?
Yeah, because in a sense,
I got you.
I would say that the woman wasn't. Well, hold on. Let me make this last point.
Okay,
I would say
that you're playing. Go ahead. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that the woman was not created, not equally, but in the sense of her strength. When you speak on the fact that the biological makeup of the woman, and then you relate it to the biblical aspect, we all have to look at the fall. And when you look at the fall and you look at, that's where the reality that we live in, we've come to agreement that, okay, since the fall of man, we have a social construct in the way that the woman is perceived, in the fact of her being put behind that man. So in the sense of, when you speak from I think the guy mentioned a Judeo-Christian point of view. Well, when you just speak on just in the sense of Christology, just dealing with the Bible and looking at that fall of man and looking at women, we have, in a sense, created a narrative in that, because in that fall, just because she fell from the dominion of responsibility, the responsibility she had, I don't think that, I just think that your delivery when it comes to that, it's just a little off to me, man. And I can't understand how can you, how can you deliver a message about masculinity when sometimes I think in the fact it's a little too, it's hyper masculine and it's subjective, So Yeah, I kind of answered your question. I was kind of going.
Nah,
on
you good, man. I'll let you
Let me
go
pass
on.
the
I'll
mic
let you,
back.
you all good, bro. I'll let you get it all out. I wanted to understand you, fully understand you, and get exactly what you. I think I understood you in like the first 2 sentences, but people be saying I'll be cutting people off, so try to get a little bit better for y'all.
I kind of was going on and on. Y'all gotta get used to this live stream. I'm trying to get
all
used to
good,
the
man.
live
It's
stream.
I'm sure, and that's the other thing too. I have to be understanding that there's many people that they join a live stream and that's their first time joining the live stream, and they really haven't spoke on a public platform and stuff like that. So I'm understanding, bro. With that being said, I am understanding. So let's get to the first point, right? You're speaking about tone policing. You're saying that the delivery, right? So think about what I'm doing right now for you. What I've allowed for you right now. You came in, you went on a long monologue speaking about some things, and I gave you grace. I allowed grace, and I allowed you to fully land your plane and get it all out. So that's giving grace. You get what I'm saying? That's being considerate. So when I'm speaking, the truth is this. It doesn't matter how you say things. It's the fact of what's being said, right? 2 + 2 is 4. Doesn't matter if I say 2 + 2 and a dinosaur just ate your head is 4. It's still 4. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's still the truth. Now let's take it a step back real quick before we talk about the tone policing. The other thing I think that I don't think you're aware of, but I think I'm aware of it because you kept saying that you have a problem with the word over. Like, how can the man be over this individual? And I think it's the way that you're perceiving over. It's your perception. Yes, it's your perception of over. My perception of over, when I speak about it, it isn't from a oppression standpoint. Like we are the person under us that, he's oppressed. Just because we're over, it doesn't mean that the person below us is being oppressed. That's just not true. You know what I mean? Even from a societal standpoint, that's just not true. Like the people that, live in mansions and, eating good. Put it like this. We live in a first world country. Are we oppressing these third world countries? No, we're not. But we're over them. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I would say, I would say we are just in the base of just looking at the American government system.
Well, it's how you perceive it. It's perception. You asked the question. That was your question when you came in. You said, "Well, do you think perception is reality?" And I came and told you straight up, perception is not reality. Perception is unique to every individual, and it's how they view the world. This is the reality of things. The reality is this. This is true reality. Life is a competition. Life isn't about oppression and oppressor or any of that. Life is about a competition, and guess what? We're all competitors in life. It's just the way it is. It's how human beings tend to perceive things. Why do you think that we perceive time? Meaning like, it's our natural body cycle. We get hungry at certain points of time. After we eat and drink, we got to take a piss and take a dump at certain points in time. It's just how our biology and how our consciousness perceive things. We're always measuring things. So with that being said, since we can't operate if we don't measure things, right? Think about it. We'll be eating all day and say if we have no measuring system, well, when would we know to pee? When would we know to poop? When would that urge be there, or would that urge go away? So the reality is this. It doesn't get more truthful than this, young brother. I want to tell you this. Life is a competition, because a competition is all about measuring things, and that's how we perceive life in general. That's the only way we can have any type of perception of stuff. With that being said, let's cycle it all back into the hierarchy of God over man, man over woman, woman over children. The reason why man is above women, let's not even speak about the physical stuff or any of the mental stuff. The reason why is because women want us there. Women would not truly love a man and admire a man and respect a man if she don't view that nigga as being above. It just ain't gonna work. If she viewed a nigga as being below, she's gonna look for another nigga. We all know this. This is just the game. This is just how it works. So with that being said, now we could speak about it from the man's purview, right? Okay. Well, and from the biology and stuff like that. I already went through it. Men, we're generally speaking, we're better at regulating our emotions than women because we're lower in estrogen, we're higher in testosterone. Men, from a physical standpoint, we're stronger than women. We have quicker reflexes. We're faster than women in so many different areas. Our lungs is bigger than women. So many different things from a physical standpoint. This is why we are superior. Women get scared of the dark. Guess what? We ain't have lights thousands of years ago. Was they out hunting in the dark? No, niggas ain't scared of the dark. Niggas like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and still kill that gazelle because I'm hungry. Women wasn't doing that. So from all standpoints that you can look at it, any way you try to fathom it, we're above women. I think you just have to get over the word over. Like we're over women. You got to get rid of, and you got to stop looking at things in a disdain view and like an oppression view. You got to understand that life is competition.
Well, I just don't. It's not that I don't view life as a competition, but when I feel that, okay, I always look at it like this. I would like to live a life of fulfillment, and living a life of fulfillment and living effectively. I don't necessarily have to compete because when I'm operating in that effectiveness or your gift, everything that's tied to that is naturally going to come to you. You're going to naturally just attract it. And I think that in the sense of.
So let's have a back and forth now. Yeah, no, it isn't subjective. I'll tell you how that doesn't even make sense. You are in competition. You're in competition with yourself. Over the hardest competition is yourself. Okay. You're competing with other people, but guess what? You have these natural proclivities and these natural urges to get horny at certain times of just randomly, even at night. You wake up with a woody. If you got enough testosterone, you got to fight the urge to not masturbate. So you're in competition to not beat your meat. Because if you beating your meat, there's other niggas that ain't beating their meat, so they have more time to be more productive. You get what I'm saying? So your biggest competition is yourself. I just use that as an example. But there's so many things that we're competing with. Guess what? You're competing with the past. Right? So if you dwell on the past, it creates depression. If you dwell on the future, it creates anxiety. So you are competing within your own mind to stabilize yourself, to balance your own self. Because if not, you'll fall into depression by thinking about, your past traumas or past adversities that you went to. If not, you'll be thinking about the future. Oh, I got to hand in this test. Oh, I got to, file these papers into the office when I go there because the boss wants this at this certain time. So you'll become a victim within your own mind if you don't understand that you are in competition with yourself, and that's the biggest competition. That is a fact. The other thing is we got to just understand that, bro. You have to be the best version of yourself because if not, it's someone else that's trying to be the best version of their self. And we have this system where if you ain't the best version of yourself, there's going to be someone else that's going to compete you, that's going to get higher pay. There's going to be someone else that's going to bag that chick that you wanted. There's going to be someone else that's going to get that job that you wanted. We're always competing. There's going to be someone else that's eating that food, that filet mignon steak. We know it costs $80. Other nigga can afford it, but you can't. Competition.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I can see the sense of that sense of just competing. But I mean, in the sense of let's touch back on the sense of in the hierarchy, in the sense of I had stated the fall, and okay, from that point with women and men, I was taught, just in my hermeneutics of thing, interpreting the Bible, that that in that sense of the fall, women weren't necessarily weaker than men. They were created just as equally, but they just submit their power to us.
So So you're talking about the fall. You're talking about prior to the fall, prior to Adam and Eve biting the apple, let's say. Prior to the fall of man. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, we have to take it there because that's where your motto stems from. The motto that you stated, it stems from some sense of that Abrahamic religion, the Christocentric type of view. So I had to go back there. I had to go back there because that's the initial source of where you're getting your belief system from. I believe that reality stems from your belief system. So when you mention the fact of influence, even your influence stems from a belief system. And that's where
it all does. Yeah, it's
and
the
and
thing
that's
is,
where
I know. Yeah,
okay.
I know where my epistemology comes from. I know
Okay.
most people don't. Most people don't even know what the word epistemology even means. I
I'm
truly know.
following you.
So what I'm saying is, let's just go back to the point that you were making when you're talking about prior to the fall of mankind. We know that prior to the fall of mankind, that the woman was still under the man, is because the woman came from the man. It wasn't the opposite way around. If we're speaking from the Abrahamic faiths, from the Torah. We know this even, scientifically. Even scientifically, we know this. It's proven even scientifically. We also know that from that story prior to the fall, that the woman was more susceptible to outside influences. This is why the serpent was able to influence her and not influence Adam. Adam was on the planet way before Eve. He was never influenced. Right? Once Eve came around, then that's when the serpent was like, oh, we have a weaker being than Adam. Let's go after this being, the woman, and influence her and get her to eat from the forbidden fruit. So then Eve eats and is like, hey, Adam, you want to eat? So the reality is this. Women are more susceptible to outside influences, and men, so they should be mindful of outside influences. Right? Because they're just more susceptible to it. When we see this even in our culture, women hold 80% of the consumer debt, meaning that they spend the most money, meaning that advertisers, they know this. So they're like, wait, women are easier to sell to, meaning that they're easier to influence. Let's go ahead and market all of our things towards women because we know that they're more easier influence. Men, we are naturally more non-agreeable, which is an A-type personality trait, which is inherently more masculine. You got some testosterone. You got nuts. Someone tells you something, it's like, you're going to question it. I'm not really too fast to believe this, nigga. I need more information. Women don't got nuts. She got nothing down there. Oh, wow, that looks good and smells nice and looks beautiful. Sure, I'll take it. So I say all of that to say that women are more susceptible to outside influences, so they need to be mindful of, what they're being influenced by. But guess what? Men are more susceptible to women because Adam was influenced by the woman. Think about it. We see a chick. She could have a little attitude, but she got that small waist and them hips looking crazy and that fatty fatting. And you like, oh, dang, I need it. I got to have it. I want it. Bro, logic goes out the window and you end up talking to a chick that's masculine, that's smacking you in Walmart and disrespecting you all because she got the fat cheeks. You get what I'm saying? So we both have areas that we lack in at the end of the day.
I got one more question, man. I got one more question.
Last question. I'm going to bring up another caller.
So I noticed that you stated that you believe that single fathers are really not needed, like they're trash. And
Wait, say that again. I've never say that again.
I mean, not single fathers, but stepfathers. I believe that.
Wait. You said that I said that. Say that again. What are you trying to say that I said?
I watched the video of some of your content, and it seems that you said that you may have stated, allegedly. Let's just say allegedly that you may have stated that your view on not single fathers, stepfathers.
Okay.
Is kind of degenerate in a sense where I think it lacks substance and value just in the way that it attacks the man. It doesn't build him up. It doesn't. I never said that. I know you stem from a competition-based point of view, but when it comes to
let's get some correct real quick. I've never said that stepfathers are degenerate. I never said that at all.
You don't feel like red pill content kind of views the stepfathers in a negative light?
No, they view like what red pill. I mean, we could say that the concept is, hey, if you have a choice, or if you don't have any kids, it's better to procreate with a woman that don't have any kids either. So try not to be a stepfather, right? If you don't have any kids, because there's many reasons for it. It's not saying that stepfathers is bad. It's just saying that, you know, you're taking on a whole lot of baggage, and normally it's not a fair deal. It's like, you don't got no kids, but you got to take care of the woman and her kids. Like, that don't really make any sense. How does that correlate to anything, you know, good from a general standpoint? Yeah, there's exceptions to the rule where I'm sure a situation can transpire from that and it can be good, but generally speaking, no. The man is expected to provide for the kids and for the woman, and he don't even got no kids, so it don't make sense. But from so that's the red pill view on it. Is not saying like it's pretty much saying if you don't have any kids, or even if you have kids, still try to avoid being a stepfather.
I can agree with that. I just think that, you know, a person being in that role, I think that they are important just in the fact of the influence that they have over the family. You know, if the male that actually created the kid isn't there, and then you have a stepfather that stepped into place of that father, I would view him more of a masculine man because he's living by principle. And he's being more of a leader because he's still taking on that mantle of someone else's family to lead, you know, encourage and show that person.
It's the thing is it isn't masculine if you're making a decision out of lack. Anytime you're making a decision out of lack, it isn't masculine because you're lacking something. So then you have no other options, or you're lacking something where it's like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and accept this baggage. You get what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, no. From, like, for instance, Joseph, Mary and Joseph. Joseph was basically a stepfather, bruh. That ain't his kid. You know what I'm saying? That ain't his kid.
No comment.
But we can say that, bro, Joseph was masculine. We gotta say that. It wasn't like he made a decision off of lack or anything. And then when we're looking, I'm a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not married to an individual, but, you know, I'm with a woman and she has kids, but I have kids as well. So my situation is different. And I have my kid full time. Yeah, I have my kid full time. So most men don't even have their kid full time. So it's like, bro, you see your kid every other weekend, maybe once or twice a month. Try to get a chick with no kids, bro. Don't go for the chick with kids. You barely even got your kid. What's the point? But so I think the red pill view is to always try to mitigate risk, like to try to give the reality of things, because men tend to make dumb decisions off of lack, off of maybe not having enough options, or maybe, you know, not being aware of females' nature. So we're telling them things so they can mitigate risk so they don't make the same mistakes that we made.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah. But yo, good convo, man. Good convo.
Man, thanks a lot. It was fun, man. Take care.
Take care, brother. I'll bring you on up next time, man.
For sure.
All right, cool. We got a lot of people in here. Okay, I know you said you wanted to go ahead and join. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? No Fugazi, what's popping? Simping is dad. We in this thing. So check it out. I wanted to have a discussion with you about religion. You know, I was just kind of listening to some of the speakers, and you know, it's crazy. Let me actually ask you this though before we get into it. Are you ever planning on having a panel that allows for others, you know what I'm saying, others to debate with each other? Because it's like so much shit coming on here.
Yeah. I just seen your message. That's why I would have brung you up at that time. But you know what? Yeah, I've done that before, where I bring up, you know, multiple people at the same time, and they could go ahead and hash it out for sure. I think that brother is still in there. Did you want to ask Kevy Kev a question?
Nah.
Okay, cool.
I just assume that it's not like the panel for it, so I just kind of prepared my questions for you. Know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah, what's your question then, man?
All right, so check it out. I just want to kind of stick within the religious concept. I don't think that we disagree mostly, but I'm gonna just pick your brain and try to press you. See, you know what I'm saying? See where we can go with this. All right.
Okay.
So first question I want to ask you: are men and women equal?
No, we're not equal. So we are equal. Physically, we're not equal. Like in the physical world, we're not equal. In the spiritual world, meaning that does men and women have agency, equal agency? Yes, men and women have responsibilities. We have a degree of authority, which means that we must take accountability, which means that we have consequences to our actions. So spiritually, yeah, we are equal, but on this physical world, we're not equal.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this, right? Because I like the way how you compartmentalize, but like just for the purpose of this conversation, what are we gonna call equality? Like, can we just agree on like a singular definition of equality, just for the basis of saying that men and women are not equal?
I don't know. Give me your definition. Let's see if I agree to it.
Well, I would just say in a hierarchical sense, men and women are not equal.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
But then also, men and men are not equal in a hierarchical sense.
No, but of course not. If one man is stronger, put it like this: when we're looking at it in a hierarchical sense, there's many men, that's superior than other men due to, if you put them in X situation, of course that one man may have a gift that, he has gifted with a higher IQ. The other man may have a gift where he's gifted with strength and height. You know what I mean?
But then couldn't that also cross over into the gender realm? So for example, a man could be with a woman that scores smarter than him, more logical, more.
For sure. It
right?
crosses over into the genders as well, where there's women more competent than men. Normally, though, those women don't choose the men that they're more competent. For example, competence, I mean, in the sense of the mating strategy. If a woman knows that she can manipulate you and get away with things when she's with you, she's gonna view you as less. So it's gonna be a time clock until she's going to grow resentment and move on from you. That's just how it is. Women.
We could say that that's generally the case. I tend to lean in that direction, but I've been doing street interviews, talking to a bunch of different people, speaking to women.
For sure.
And also not just that, I've noticed this as a pattern with just some of the women that I've dealt with at various statuses that I've went through in life. And what I've noticed is that there's maybe a significant portion of the population of women. I don't know if I want to say maybe 50%, maybe let's just say it's 10, 30%. Let's just say women who will get with men that they deem themselves that they make more money than, that they are superior to in the hierarchical sense. Maybe they have a little bit more direction than, and there's a bunch of different reasons why. I'm of the belief that maybe this is a amount of insecurity. Maybe they feel that the guy who is able to lead, they don't really want to get with him, because then that puts her in a position where she's in competition with other women. She likes to be so she might get with let's just say the broke dude, but he's handsome, but he's broke, and she's cool with that. She'll pay the bills, she'll do all of these things, and like I say, and be cool with that, because for her that is the security of keeping a man. How do you speak to those specific situations? And because we talk general, but a specific situation like that, the general situation is not going to apply.
Yeah, so it all depends. When we're that's a good example that you brung up. So it all depends on the value of the woman. The value. So we know that women in their younger ages, they are more valuable from the opposite sex, meaning that the opposite sex, men, we deem younger women as being more hotter and more attractive and more valuable. So that's what that situation normally comes into play, where, like you said, that woman, she got a degree, she has a career, she's making money. Human beings, from a general standpoint, it takes time to acquire certain resources, men and women. So those women normally are going to be older. So they're older, so that means that their sexual market, generally speaking, their sexual market value has decreased. So even though she's making more money than most of these guys, and she's maybe even more competent than most men that she meet, she will accept it is because she doesn't get acceptance from the guys that she truly wants. She doesn't get acceptance from the guys that's making more money than her, because the guys that's making more money than her or that's more competent than her, they're choosing the younger, hotter chicks. They're not choosing that 34-year-old.
Okay, true. So, all right, but still, I agree with you. Still, there's the practical situation of that happening. And we're talking about like the hierarchy in the general sense. Yes, in the general sense, man, woman, child, there is that hierarchy. But in that particular sense, right?
You're speaking about like an exception. Like, I think the question that you're asking, like, Cooley, like there's definitely situations where it's like a 24-year-old chick and she's hot and she got bread, and, you know, she'll accept the guy that's not really making that much. That's what you're speaking about.
I'm not even talking about, I'm leaving it with the situation that you described.
Okay, cool.
The woman who she's achieved a certain level of status, and therefore, but her value, and I'm just gonna just for clarity of the people that's listening, we're talking strictly of sexual market value. We're not talking about like her value as a person or her value of anything. We're talking strictly of her level of appeal to the general population of men. Okay.
Yeah.
It has declined. Okay. But she's with a man who is, let's just say, he's of lower value comparatively. Maybe he's a younger guy, and because of those things, she's probably making more money than him. She's more competent than him in a lot of ways. Look, put it this way, even though they may have the romantic compatibility there's not the realistic sense of he is able to lead her. So and like, we could call that situation the exception, but I'm seeing it more and more, and like, it's like, bro, like in the hood, like we see that situation a lot, actually. You know what I mean? It's a lot of chicks that's dating younger dudes, a lot of girls that, let's just say, they got jobs, they're more responsible with their lives, they're dealing with dudes that's in the streets, don't have a job, not really got nothing going for them. Maybe they're physically attracted to them, but the competency, the ability to lead. So my question is, right, going back to the conversation of equality, right, where it seems as if in those metrics that you described, the woman is actually leading. What do you say to that? Is there a practical incentive or like instruction that you would give to a man to still try to lead in that situation?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. So first, let me tackle the other stuff you said. So the only way, if we're being honest, right, a chick that's her sexual value has decreased and she's talking to a guy that's less competent and making less money, we got to be honest and understand that women are complex creatures. Men were simple. So like, you're looking for a simple answer, but you got to understand that women are more complex. And currently in modernity, women prioritize how they feel over anything. Like, we like to say that women are hypergamous because they are. It's their hypergamous nature. But women do have this nature about them where they prioritize feelings over everything. So if a man knows his way around a woman and he can make her feel a vibe or feel a way and raise her up, then yeah, that guy still has, he still has a chance to get a girl that's making more money than him, that's even more competent than he is. And competency just means that's the ability to accomplish tasks and accomplish goals and complete tasks. That's what that means. Yeah. So yeah, this woman is more organized. She has her life figured out, but she's still susceptible to being rizzed up by a dude. That's just a fact. She's just still susceptible to it. So the thing is this though.
Doesn't make him a capable leader though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make him a capable leader.
Nah, so let me explain. So women are higher in estrogen, meaning that they're really only loyal to how they feel. We know this because they initiate 70 to 80% of the divorces, right? We know this because they wake up sometimes just nigga, I ain't in the mood. Like, we know that, god dang, like, feelings is everything to them, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, they have a hypergamous nature, meaning that they want a masculine man, they want a leader, they want a protector and a provider. But they also have this mindset and this way of being that they oh, well, if I feel this way, then that must be right. If I feel this way, like, whatever how they feel is, that's right. If you truly think about it, if you think about how women operate, however they feel, that's right.
Okay.
So with that being said, a dude can rizz them up and he can get the cheeks and he can keep her for a moment of time. It'll be a short-term relationship. But then that hypergamous nature would come up, right? Because it's like the guy that got the box and he's not as competent as the woman, or the woman is more accomplished, like, he would have to be a very, very masculine man and have a strong masculine frame in order to retain that woman. Because the truth is this, men have to retain women as well. We ain't got to do that much, but really we just got to maintain, and we have to live in reality and understand that the world is a competition and we have to outcompete to keep on being that guy. Or the way she views us, she has to view us as that guy at all times, right? So if we can keep that and maintain that, how the woman views us, we'll retain the girl. The girl not going to go nowhere. But the thing is, if that guy is incompetent and he really doesn't have that masculinity, he only got her by the skin of his teeth. Like, he ain't really going to maintain that chick. He ain't gonna be able to maintain her. So he rizzed her up and he got her, but her hypergamous nature comes up and it's like, wait, I yearn for a leader, a protector, and a provider. This dude isn't doing any of that. So then she grows resentment. Resentment grows and she starts to look down at that man. In the beginning, she probably didn't look down at that man because he was cool. He was giving her the vibe. She was only prioritizing how she feels. But nature comes up and nature rules. That hypergamous nature is gonna be like, no, this nigga is inadequate. I need a superior man. So the answer to answer your question real quick, how does a guy in that situation, maintain or retain a woman that's maybe making more money? Money isn't everything. Money doesn't make a man. Right? The man is what makes the money. So with that being said,
wait, but let me clarify though, real quick.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna let you continue. But we're not talking strictly about money. We're talking about more competence. We're talking about more capability. You know what I mean?
And leading. You're talking about leading.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but from the woman's purview, finances is like, that goes into the ability to lead. You get what I'm saying? So to answer your question, I would say that, a man, he could still be that guy and he could be with a woman. It's a low probability, but it's still possible. He could still lead that woman even if she's making more money. I've seen it. I mean, one of my first relationships, my chick was making way more money than me. Like, I was a young dude, but I was still leading everything.
Yeah. Likewise, I can relate to that. And I think the absolute best example of that is just what the pimps used to do. The pimps had no money. They brought no money into the situation. They only brought their influence and their direction into it. They told the women where to go, what to say, how to do it.
Exactly.
And they brought the money back. And what I've seen with women is just like you pointed out, women are more focused on the emotional aspect of things. Even if they get money, they get more money, they'll emotionally spend it. They're not really thinking about finances from the perspective that men will think about finances. And you can actually look into this. There's research behind this where it says about 15%. I forget what exactly the metric is that they measure, but essentially men are like 3 times more likely to be, just in general, financially literate when it comes to certain things. So the primary investors in the stock market and crypto, things like that, when it just comes to the understanding of how to use and move money, this is where men excel at, versus women who maybe they'll make a lot of money, but the element is just emotional spending. That's where the debt comes in, stuff like that. So pimp prostitute
100%.
relationship,
yeah.
Like even if I gave like my uncle, auntie, and as an example, my uncle wasn't making that much bread, but he provided for the household and said, like, look, you go be a nurse, and he directed her. She ended up turning around making more money than him, but still,
he was the main decision maker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But no, and I'm saying that a man can be that. He could be the main decision maker, and he could be masculine and truly lead a woman, even if he's not making enough money. I'm just saying that in modernity, in today's time with these modern women, it's just harder to do. A man has to be extra masculine, because the reason why it's harder to do is because, nigga, chicks got Instagram. They'll just be like, I'll find another option.
Yeah. You got to be a different breed in this generation. I agree, but
For sure.
I want to shift gears a little bit because I asked you the equality question for a reason, because we want to get like more like into like a somewhat of a religious topic, because I know that this whole sense of
okay. And before you do that, real quick, let me just address the people in the queue, because I want to get everyone up here real quick. Beans, you up next? We got a Kill. You up next? We got Fearless, I see you in here. Going to bring you on up. We got Tea Time 92. Going to bring you on up too. SMG Drizzle. Going to bring you on up as well. And if at any point, guys that's in the queue right now, if you want to go ahead and join the conversation that we're having, like if you have questions or anything like that, if you want to join this one, just write in a private chat and just say join so I know. Say join and I'll bring you on up. But if you rather wait to get the one-on-one conversation with me, then, just wait. Cool. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Awesome. No problem. So check it out. Just so the whole conversation of the Bible, religion, God, things like that. The first caller, basically, they ask you to substantiate your belief in God and to prove it. And so my question for you is, since you can't really do that, then what is the true practicality in believing anything? Why not just say, rather than saying I believe in this particular thing, why not just say I don't know?
Well, the thing is that we all believe in something. We'll be silly to say that we don't believe in things, because we're conscious, we're aware, and we have memories, and we're looking forward to things as well. So meaning that memories, we're looking past, we're looking forward to things, meaning like we're looking towards the future. So with that being said, we have beliefs. If you're not believing in a higher power, something that's beyond you, then you're believing in, porn. You're believing in OnlyFans. You're believing in, putting all your faith and belief into, the job that you're going to. You're believing in something.
Is that mutually exclusive though? I mean, is that mutually exclusive? You can believe in a higher power and believe in porn and believe in the job you go to and believe in, right? I mean, like not.
Well,
in the sense
I mean, I'm speaking about things of being objective. Like a lot of people think like morality is subjective. I think morality is objective. I think that God is objective, is not subjective. Like, oh, well, like it's objective. So to answer your question, I'm sorry, your question was again, why, like, if I can't prove it, then why believe in it?
Well, it's more like, why profess to believe in something that you can't prove rather than to just say, I don't know. Like if somebody asked me about conspiracy theory, or if they asked me about the Diddy case, or they asked me about whatever it was.
I see what you're saying now.
And I don't, so really, I can't prove either way. The answer is simply, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, man. For me, I have proof. I said proof. I have proof for me. I've received the Holy Ghost. I mean, the Spirit of the Lord fell on me, was in me. So I've received the Holy Ghost, which I gave the story, I think, twice on my podcast before. I'm not going to give it now, but that was all the proof that I needed. Prior to that, I still believed, but when I received the Spirit of the Holy Ghost, it was like, all right, yeah, nah, this nigga real. This ain't no sci-fi movie no more. Homie up there real. It's a fact.
So can you actually, without giving me the whole backstory, can you actually just articulate what that is? what is the Spirit of the Holy Ghost? If you could just
Well,
give it.
well, for me, everyone experiences differently. Like, for example, my mom and my sisters and stuff like that, and brothers, they experience was different. And many people you can ask, their experiences are different. And even when you speak about this with different theologians and pastors and stuff like that, it's a gift. Many people don't actually receive the true Spirit of the Holy Ghost. Like, many people don't. It's only a small percentage of people actually receive it. But for me, it showed that, okay, I am a spiritual being, and the Spirit of God was moving within me, and I had no control, meaning that I was fully aware and conscious of what was going on, but I had zero control over, my body, my voice, and nothing. And I still felt everything as well, but the Spirit of the Lord was moving within me. So from that standpoint, it's like, wait, nah, like how the only way I could, there's many ways that I could speak about it, but it's like a shell. Like, this body is a shell, and then this Spirit is what's operating it. And the Holy Ghost, when you receive it, is another spirit that's taken over your spirit. But you're not like, it's not like you go into a dream world and you're like unconscious and you're like, like how movies go when you get possessed. You're like, wait, what happened to me? Was I possessed? No, it's not like that. You're fully aware the entire time.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Do you consider yourself on a mission from God? Is that what you're doing with No Fugazi, or?
Nah, man. So, I mean, with No Fugazi podcast, man, this is open debate night. So I do this because, some people got smoking, and then other people like you that's, we just chop it up and have a mutual debate and, share different ideas and purviews and stuff like that. So I mean, so there's no so even though the spirituality, religion, the Bible, it actually, it does come into these conversations. It does.
There is no practical connection between the two things in terms of your life mission. It's more like just do we just kicking a bobo? We could be talking about that or Star Wars or some other shit.
He said, nah, I mean, I explained it before. I think that everything that I do is for a purpose. I'm a man. So even when I, do the dating and relationship podcast, I try to keep it no fugazi. I try to give my true perspective on things at all times. And then also when I do these debates, I always try to give my true perspective on things, all the time. And then also there's some things that's absolute, but there's not many things. Really, the only thing that's absolute is God. So that conversation comes up. So to be truthful, I would say that, yeah. And if you just watch my podcast, even on the girls panels or the debating shows, you would see that if you're a person, you would see that, okay, he's trying to influence me to believe in God or to believe in a higher power than myself. I would have to admit to that 100%.
So what would that actually translate? Like, what is the practicality? Because I seen you on a debate with Princella, and it's just a very, but that debate in particular, she had a bunch she had a few different ideas, like for example, that men and women should be educated apart from each other and all of this stuff. And it's like, all right, I wouldn't take away any validity from that idea, for or against. But it's just like, where's the practicality of it? The shit is never going to happen. So why even talk about it? So
you're talking about Princella's ideas, right?
Well, yeah, and particularly when it comes to men and women being educated separately, it's just not going to happen. First, these kids don't even know how to read. First, you got to deal with that shit. But that's a whole separate conversation. My thing is, though, when it comes to the religious aspect of it, even the conversation about the hierarchy, God, man, woman, child, where's the practicality in the sense of we're dealing with, America as we know it, which is just complete counterculture from anything that pertains to what's biblical and what's expected. Like I said, we did, and the reason why I'm asking this is, like I said, we went out and I know how I operate my house. It's completely different from this conversation, in all honesty. We went out, in New York City, did interviews, talked to a bunch of women, bunch of different couples, asking them straight up, who wears the pants in this house? And the women were like, I do. And
Yeah.
the guys, so many of the guys, almost damn near 100% of the guys. Maybe we in NYC, it's a very like liberal type of thing, right? But so many of the guys were just like, hey, yeah, hey, she does, she does what she does.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So where is the real practicality in any of these? You know what I'm saying? These ideas.
So
that you have
what's
that are
practical? What's practical is to understand this: influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. The reason why those women were prone and quickly to answer yes to who wears the boxers, and they think that they wear the boxers, is because they was influenced via feminism. So when the question that you asked, like, why, pretty much the question that you're asking is like, why, have this mantra of God over man, man over woman, woman over children, where, we're already too far gone. These women, they don't want to get on program. It is what it is. Well, that's not practical to have that mindset. What's practical is to think like, okay, well, how did these women get here? They got here because they were influenced. So if they were influenced, then we can still influence them. Right, because influence is the most powerful force. Before you think of something, before you act, you are influenced to have this, to make that choice. So with that being said, it's like, no, we have to actually fight the good fight and push forth this type of information. If not, feminism is going to win. If not, egalitarianism is going to win.
Wait a minute.
If not, the matriarchy is actually going to win.
Yeah. So that goes back somewhat to the conversation that we had previously, where is there a mission behind it? Basically, it's to defeat feminism, egalitarianism. Basically, that's a part of this mission culturally. But so let me add. But let me ask you this.
Let me answer that real quick, and then I want to get these other two people's perspective in here because they said they wanted to join. With that being said, man, we have to combat, the nonsense of feminism and what they're purporting and what they're trying to influence with what we do. It's a battle of ideologies when you look at it, bro. That's all it is. So it's a battle of ideologies. They're pushing out feminism, equality, and all of this stuff. I'm pushing out the hierarchy, God over man, man over woman, woman over children. I defeat these male feminists. I defeat these women feminists all the time is because from my end, it's truth. From my end, it's years of history and years of knowledge that backs up the things that I'm saying. What they're speaking about is just all nonsense. It's a social construct. Like, it's not rooted in nature. It's not rooted in anything that's absolute. What I'm speaking about is like coming from a biological perspective. Like, I really don't give like an opinion. Well, yeah, I've been giving my opinion on the Holy Ghost and other things, but like when we're having a discussion and a debate on actual real topics, I really don't speak about opinion. I'm actually going to the biology. Like, men and women are different. Here's what the man is good at. Here's what the woman is good at. Here's where the man lacks at. Here's where the woman lacks at. Guess what? Men is above women. Guess what? Women want a man that's above her. So it's like, that's just the natural order of things. So we have to combat the nonsense with the truth.
So let me just say this one last thing, and then I'm gonna let everybody chime in the conversation.
Got you.
Monopolize everything. But look though, okay. So going back to the whole conversation about like everything being competition. Okay, you said it. Okay, feminism, matriarchy, as we know it, it's like this. You can say whatever you want. You don't have an army. It's just lip service at the end of the day. If you can't defend nothing that you're talking about, then it's only talking points. So that is basically to agree with what you're saying about like, look, there's no substance behind a lot of this talk. It's just talk. But I want to ask this though, since this is competition, as you said, right? What harm is it? Why would I want you, like, practically? Why would I want you to not raise your children or be in the house where your wife wears the pants? Why would I want you to not be a simp? I'll just take, look, you do that, you live your life, and my sons, I got 4 and 1 daughter, my sons will just dominate yours, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. That's what's happening.
Right? I'm just saying, what's the point of, because we talk about competition.
Yeah,
So
that's what's happening right now. So I get what you're saying. You're saying like, bro, we talking about competition. If me and you run in our household and we got this hierarchy and we know that this hierarchy of, you know, the woman respecting the man and the man leading the household and stuff, we know that this leads to good outcomes. Why are we even trying to influence these other people? We should just be like keeping quiet and just out competing everybody. That's what you're getting at?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
The reason why that's nonsensical is because our children are being raised in schools and in areas where these degenerate people that don't understand the hierarchy is their kids are coming into the school. Like my daughter currently, she's in schools where people believe they're Therians. They're like, which is like animals. It's like boys and girls, they wear tails and they crawl around on the floor, like because their parents are weak. And their parents was, you know, influenced by feminism and all of this nonsense type stuff. So guess what? If my daughter is going into schools with, you know, people that believe that they're Therians, like actually animals, you know, then that's going to try to influence my daughter. So I have to influence my daughter to not believe in that, so she's not susceptible to it. And then we have to influence the masses so they're not susceptible to it. So the reality is this: we have to push forward the truth. If not, the lies is going to overtake us.
Well, the lives themselves are not sustainable. The lives will not continue to live. So,
Yeah.
if you think, you know, you want to be woman, you want to be whatever it is that you're into,
Yeah.
you're not going to have children, you're not going to reproduce, you're not going to be able to compete. Eventually, you're going to come back over to the truth side. But by the time you do, everybody who's already been there will have the head start. But I'm
Yeah.
just check
No,
out
no,
that part.
good.
I mean, we can move on. Let other people speak. You know what I mean?
Good convo. Good points. SMG and also Kale, bro, which I want to speak about.
You go.
Y'all heard the convos.
Yeah, first off, shout out to the podcast. Man, I was trying to get at you with commentary when we talked to debate the flat earth.
Oh, dang, he was in here, but he had bad service, man.
Man, I got in late. But to dude's question, he was asking about proving what was it you was talking about, proving God or what? Why do we not prove God or what? What was that?
Oh, my question. Oh, so
Yeah.
basically, Cooley said that he couldn't really prove with evidence God or something to that effect in the previous. And so I said, well, if you can't prove it, then why not just say I don't know, rather than stand firm in a belief? But then he said he had his own personal experience with the Holy Ghost where that was proof enough for him.
Right. So what I like to get at is evidence. So it's not about what I can and can't prove. It's about what you will accept. All right. So we got much evidence that God exists. We got much evidence that God
Hold
is
on.
real.
You say what
You
about
go in the
God?
forest, huh?
You say what about like what you a Christian, Catholic? What are you?
Nah, I'm just biblical. I'm just biblical. I ain't Christian. I don't get down with them. I hang with them. I talk to them, associate with them, but I'm
So are
not.
you are
None
are
of that.
you a descendant? Are you a descendant of Noah?
We all is.
Okay.
Everybody's a descendant of Noah, man.
You are okay. You believe
But
in the flood
anywho,
and stuff.
I mean, yeah, man, there's evidence on that outside of the Bible.
It's evident on the flood. Okay.
Yeah, man. So what you look when I look at I go to three things, right? Consistency, history, and logic. Those are the three things I use for any basis or foundation of any truth anywhere. So if every culture has a flood story, then obviously, consistently, logically, historically, there has to be some truth to the flood story. Not only that, but scientists have already proved that at one point the tallest mountains was covered in water. At one point the earth was actually flooded. That's proven.
Okay.
And we can get this true story from the Bible. But there are other stories like Gilgamesh. The Indians have it, the Asians have it. Everybody got a flood story.
I want to know what's
The
the other
Greeks.
brother here. What's your faith or religion or stance or whatever?
I'm a polytheist, bro.
Okay. Right, just
But
so y'all know, I'm biblical based, but I'm not. I'm also like agnostic, meaning that I'm not going to try to prove anything that happened exactly, but I believe in the practicality of wisdom of the biblical scriptures. You know what I mean?
I
but
That's
just
me.
what
I
about
believe
order and
in
design?
shit freedom shit. You feel me? I believe in freedom and history.
What you
But
said,
what
brother?
about order and design? What about order and design?
Order.
Order and design. If you go into a forest, no humans around, but you see a house. You know that at some point a human was around because they built their house. It ain't just
Right.
happened on its own. That's
Right.
design. You know,
Right.
that's order, it's structure. And when you look at the earth, what we can observe, we see that we got seasons, we got universal laws, we got nature laws, we got the animals stick with their kind, all of these different orders, all of these different designs. Well, obviously, somebody had to create that. Some higher intelligence that is outside of that
Yeah.
had to make that. Just like
Yeah.
somebody made the computer, they're not inside of the software. You know, it's all order design. That alone, that's evidence. That's not proof of anything, but it's evidence. It's strong evidence. You know what I mean? Like, what's there not to
Yeah, that's
believe?
your belief. Yeah, we ain't gonna take it from you.
See, that's but I'm saying it's not even a belief. That's evidence. Let's
So
not
So
Yeah,
change
you
it
what?
at
Yeah,
all.
it's
what
evidence.
he's
It's evidence of what though? Just be clear.
the flood,
It's evidence of a higher intelligence.
Okay.
nigga.
Okay.
yeah, what he's
The
speaking
fact that you
about.
can see these.
He's
You
making complete sense as far as like evidence. It's like, yeah, it isn't saying that it's like proof, like, because we can't prove it right now, but
Right.
it is evidence that,
I got a
we
question though.
are like, there's a reason why we're here, and it was from something had to put us here,
I got
just
a
like something
question
Right.
had to put the tree there.
for
so what is
those.
what is polytheism? Because you're
That means
polytheist.
I believe in all type of shit. I believe in multiple gods. Shit, bro, multiple
What is a god?
And see,
Oh, this nigga
higher
believe in
powers.
Thanos.
Nah, no Thanos. I don't believe
This
no
man,
nigga
you know
Thanos.
believe in
all that
No,
comes
I want to
Zeus.
from.
know. No,
I
because
ain't with
you
all
said,
that.
look.
I ain't with all that. That's Hilton.
One brother said higher intelligence. You said
Okay,
multiple gods, but those are not definitively separate things. You have to clarify specifically what exactly that is. What exactly you mean when you say God? What is a god?
A
a
God,
higher
man.
power who created the earth.
A God is just one that has
Bro,
authority to be
shit, a
specific. To be
motherfucker,
honest,
shit. You could be a
Hold
god,
up, hold up.
shit.
One mic at a
But
time. Let's do
before, yeah,
this. Let's have
I this my
Akil.
question. Yeah,
Akil,
this
let's
my
have you
question.
answer his question because you said you believe in multiple gods. He asked you a question, so answer that
What is it?
first.
What does it look like?
No, what is a god? What is it? Give me a definition.
Shit, just shit. Not a human being. Not a human. Not a mortal being. Not a mortal being. Bro, that's it. Not a mortal being.
Okay. So
I
it's a living being that's not mortal, basically.
shit. It's not a mortal being, so it probably ain't even living. It's just not here.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah.
yo, Akil,
All
hold
right.
up. I'm gonna bring you back up. Hold up. Let's have this between us three real quick, and let me get Beans. You want to come up or nah? Okay, bring him on up. What's going on, Beans? Your audio off.
Yeah, I'm about to report you. Yeah, don't try to embarrass that brother like that. I'm glad you dropped him, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I had to get him up out of here, but he cool. He come in all the time sometimes, but I'm like, yeah, this conversation isn't for him. But okay, so let's just be clear real quick. Simpin is Dead podcast. Are you an atheist then? You don't believe in
No.
God?
No. I believe in a higher power as well, but I don't believe that it's truly defined. Okay, so just for a little bit of clarity, my background is I read the Bible from cover to cover. My background is as a Hebrew Israelite, like so I have and then before that Christian. I'm not particularly connected to the faith in the sense that like I'm going to like I have particular practices. I I do adhere to and believe in the wisdom of like just practical wisdom that's in the scriptures. I think a lot of the red pill conversations is really just it's really just modern renditions of the book of Proverbs. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the hierarchical structures that we discuss, a lot patriarchy, even as we know it. Let me ask you this, right? How many, just by show of hands, how many people on here like they know the name of their great grandfather? Like you know the name of your great grandfather. Okay, all right. So, and it's particularly on the patriarchal side. So, if you go into like the book of Chronicles, or you go into like the Bible, like Genesis, they literally go through genealogy. Like even the first book of Matthew, the first chapter, right?
Yeah, they go
It
through the names and
goes
everything.
it goes through the whole patriarchal lineage. Okay,
Yeah.
so in order to do this, just think about this. This is people that maybe the majority of people could not even read and write back then, okay, or at least a significant amount compared to people right now, and yet they were able to chronicle things like that, significant things of family. All right, so this is what I'm saying, some things that we've lost. All right, so what I'm saying is I believe in the practicality of the book. I believe that the people who were kings of the earth, who had the experiences of, let's just say, taking over a nation, they knew what it was like seeing women, seeing temple whores and them sacrificing their babies in the fires, and all of these things that are somewhat parallels to what we're seeing today. Okay, we've seen like the whole the misuse of nature when it came to like just the I don't want to get us canceled, nothing like that, but you know what I'm talking about. You get where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah,
Where it
yeah.
comes to like identities and people and sexuality and stuff like that. Those were things that happened historically, and you saw the way how they dealt with them. Whether the nations was banned, whether they was burned with fire, and whether they was, and then how virginity was dealt with, how women were dealt with, things like that. These are practical nuggets of gold wisdom that we decided when we built this nation, or when this nation was built, there were certain principles in place that we embraced from that allowed us to be strong, that we've slowly basically thrown those things away.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
and now we're just kind of trying to freestyle as we go along. But now we're seeing like, okay, after
It
these
isn't
girls
really
get
working.
after
Yeah, it
it's
really
not
isn't working.
after
Yeah.
these girls get ran through, right? They're not really wifeable, right? And so like, and not just because, well, it's a psychological thing. No, it actually like on the man where you just don't like her. No, it actually impacts her ability to stay in a relationship and be set and gain satisfaction from it. And it makes you think, well, damn, this is why
This is why
purity
they
was
said
preserved.
that, when
Right.
you man and women should meet and get married virgins.
Right. But
Yeah.
exactly. But though I do want to say this. I want to say my view on the Bible is a little bit different, and it goes into like some of my understanding of like the Hebrew. So we talk about the word God. God is the word Elohim. It's just a Hebrew word. It means powers. It's a plural word that means powers. So when you say like a higher power, when you say Elohim, when you say God, that's what that means. It just means power. When you look at the Hebrew name of God that they put as Jehovah, right? The Yod Hey Vav Hey, the Yahweh, whatever how you say it, right? That is only a verb or Hebrew verb that means He exists. So it doesn't really give you any outside of like what the characteristics are of you see described of God in different situations. There's not really a clear definitive meaning of what God is. It's really subjective. The only thing that we actually agree on, and that's even biblically agreed on, is just strictly the sense that there's powers. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be, the higher powers, the higher intelligence, however you want to call it. And so this is why I ask folks like to clearly identify what you mean when you say God. Because if I say, all right, well, there's powers out there, I come from the stance of we will never begin to understand these intelligences, and I won't even try for that reason. However, I do recognize that there's practical wisdom that was given in these books, and people who adhere to those principles get better results than otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, I got what you're saying, man. Yeah, SMG, I know you want to respond to that. Go ahead.
First off, I gotta ask you real quick, bro. How you go from Hebrew Israelite to agnostic, bro? Like that's out the whack for me, bro. Like that's out of there, bro. How usually
because
know.
I'm not agnostic. Is it's a it's
I
a
know what
it's a
agnostic is.
category,
It's
but it
like
doesn't
I
really.
don't know.
You
It's
know,
a I don't know state.
it's a category, but it doesn't really describe what you believe. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is anything about God that I can't definitively prove, or anything about the biblical story. Like, so for example, if you were to bring out contradictions, so we talking about like I kind of know extensively about the Bible. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to keep holding the
Hey,
time up
bro,
or
I'm
whatever.
on that
But
tape. We can
if you
have
know
this
about
conversation.
if you know about like the Masoretic text, which is the Hebrew Tanakh, right? If you know, there's like several hundred contradictions in there. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like
Name one.
genealogies, in
Name
terms of
one.
well, no, they're there, bro. Trust me, they're there. You know, we don't have to like. We not. I'm not even trying to say nothing to make no attacks against your belief, or to say that, or even to say that that means that it's wrong definitively. Look, the nature of the way how the Bible was given to you, that in and of itself, it was not a printing press. It was not a so all the way down to spelling mistakes. They're there. You're not going to see that because you're not looking at the Hebrew Bible. But I'm somebody who, like, most people wouldn't notice about me just by looking at me or talking to me. But I'm somebody who actually could like
Yeah.
read the Bible in
So
Hebrew.
before
I
we
I
move,
could too.
real quick, before we get move this topic forward, Baines, what's going on, man? Introduce yourself, what you wanted to speak about, and then tea time. I'm gonna have you do the same thing.
Let T-Time go first so I can set my camera and microphone.
Go ahead, tea time. What's going on, man? Where you from, and what you here to speak about?
What's up, y'all? I'm from Houston, and I specifically wanted to talk about commandments, like the Ten Commandments, but particularly one that I was gonna question you, Cooley,
Okay.
if you think there's a particular commandment that's more important than all the others, or more unique than all the others.
Okay. I mean, the Ten Commandments. Let me pull that up just so I have it. I don't even know it all off the bat. All right, let's see.
And it kind of comes
kill.
into play with because I was looking at your title and the word atheist was in there, and so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, there's like a particular commandment in there where, if you think about it, any person can follow all of them except one particular commandment that's unique out of every other commandment, and I think that one's very important. But I'm curious if you can.
Yeah, we got the Ten Commandments. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So, there's many of them. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much all. Well, no, God will honor thy father and thy mother. Okay, so that's all of them. So your question is there one of them that I prioritize over all of them? That's your question?
No, not prioritize.
Okay.
I'm just saying one that's. So I'll just say like what I believe. I believe obviously I believe in all of them. I'm a follower of the Bible, right? But I believe in the days that we live in now, there's one that is more important than any of the other ones because of end times. And so I believe it's dealing with the Sabbath, and keeping it holy. If you look at like what day does everybody like go to church,
Mm-hmm.
but like what day is the first day of the week? Like if like to you guys, like what day is the first day of the week? Like if someone would
Sunday,
just
man.
right, so like the
Yeah.
Sabbath is Saturday. So
Right.
but it's kind of funny, like when I like talk to my friends and family, and they think they're following the Sabbath because they go to church on Sundays, and it's just like that's one, it has nothing about going to church, but they think that they're following it because of the Sunday, but it's not accurate. So I'm just curious if you ever like dabbled into that topic.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I haven't really dabbled into that type of topic. If I'm being honest, if we're looking at which one should we hold more importance to in this day of time, it wouldn't be the Sabbath.
You don't think so?
Nah, it wouldn't be the Sabbath. I have it up real quick. I could share it. For me, it would be, I mean, like if we're looking at everything, you should uphold all of them, of course.
Right.
But if we're saying that what's like should be held up a little bit with more importance and modernity, I would say with all of social media and everything that's going on, how, mating is so easily accessible, it would be thou shalt not commit any adultery. Because before anything is built, a relationship has to be built. And then, we're not saying that the other ones isn't important, like thou shalt not kill and all of that. I mean, maybe I would even put that one with all of the, termination of unborn children. God dang, that thou shalt not kill will be a very important one too. See, this is the thing. They're all real important. And I don't think it's actually meant to prioritize or to hold anyone with any more importance. I think that there should be just as important. But I mean, we're human beings, so we all look to measure things differently. So probably adultery and thou shalt not kill would be the two currently right now in modernity, with all of the termination of unborn children, meaning abortion, and then all of the 50% of marriages end in divorce. Women are initiating 70 to 80% of them. So yeah, man, there's a whole lot of, and those stats went up when the internet came about, when social media and stuff came about as well. So yeah, man, that's what I would say on that. But you had any other questions?
No, I didn't have any other questions.
Cool. Okay, cool. Beans, what's going on, man? This guy got a background of some white people in the office, bro. I thought you was pro-black. He said, who told you that? What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Those my slaves. Hey, man, I honestly, so this ain't really my flavor. I'm not religious. I grew up in the church like most Negroes, but I've been agnostic for a long time since I was a kid, bro. I don't know, don't care. And what it boils down to me with the religion topic is that it's everybody's belief, which is why it's so funny with me when people argue about it, because it's like none of you niggas was there. So at the end of the day, whatever it is that you think you only know it because you choose to believe it. You're accepting somebody else's rendition of what happened. So that's good for you, and I'm happy for you, and Allah and Jesus and Buddha to you. What I came up here to debate you about is, and I ain't surprised that you said this because you light-skinned it, but I came up here because I know you didn't say out of your mouth that systemic oppression don't exist anymore. I know.
Yo.
I had to go get some Q-tips, clean out my ears. It's been a couple days. I rewinded like 7 times. I think somebody messed up your audio because it sounded like you said systemic oppression don't exist anymore. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no. Well, that's not what I fully said. What I said in its full totality is that it doesn't exist to the same degree that it existed, 50, 100, 200 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's not to the same degree. And when we're looking at systemic oppression, so systemic meaning that are there any laws currently right now in society that's holding black people back? Like redlining is going, all of these, certain things, Jim Crow is going, all of these things are all going. We don't have like any laws. If anything, like affirmative action just ended, but now they're pushing for DEI. So if anything, we have more of an incentive with when affirmative action was here to give black people, a kind of step ahead. and niggas is still failing. Now they're trying to push DEI, and it's just nonsensical. So, yeah, I would say that no, there's no systemic oppression currently like it was, 50 years ago or even 100 years ago.
Okay,
You would have to agree with that, though.
not really, but I'm glad you made that adjustment. So allow me to make my
Okay, go ahead,
allow
man.
me to make my adjustment, my brother. Let me throw the Malcolms on real quick.
Cool.
So the thing about it being systemic, right? If you ever read the Willie Lynch letter, in the Willie Lynch letter, it talks about the programming that they were doing to the black woman, right? And how after this programming was initiated and firmly in place, they could sleep soundly, right? Because the programming is there. They don't have to do anything now. They can be hands off. They can pretend like they haven't put things in place to make sure that certain things don't happen, right? So when most people make these arguments, the same argument that the Officer Tatum dude was making, because I responded to that video myself a while back. The same argument that he's making it from an individualistic standpoint, right? So my question to you would be, even if I acknowledge that from an individual standpoint, black people can individually do better now than before, wouldn't you acknowledge yourself then that as a group, we are still oppressed?
No, that wouldn't make any sense, because if individually we can do better, that means that if I'm doing better and I show other people how to do better as well, and they do better, as a group, we can come together and all do better. The problem is that black people, we don't work together as other people. It's the culture. It's the culture of black people. So our culture, it's rotten. We don't view each other as actual brothers and sisters. We view each other as, is as competition, which that's okay. Because from my worldview, I don't harp on race too much. Like, I'm not this race hustler and like, black people should be with black people, white people should be with Asian people. Yeah. I don't really care about that, because I know that Jesus doesn't care about that either at all. Like, nigga, if you want to get to heaven, or if you want to have some type of, sustain some type of, what is it? Consciousness beyond this physical world, nigga, it's more than just our skin color. It's our beliefs and our ideals and our values. So that being said, I don't really harp on race too much, but to make it make sense is, no, man, black people, we're in a situation that we're in is because of our culture. Hip hop culture is degenerate. It isn't good. And trust me, I was in hip hop culture. If you look at some of my old YouTube videos, probably not up too much, but nigga, I was in music videos. I'm making beats. I'm a producer. I rap, sing, do everything. And I was speaking some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? My mind was corrupted. But at the end of the day, I think it all roots from our culture. Like, think about it. When the Punjabis come over, I got Punjabi friends, and these niggas come from India. When they come here, all of them, it'll be about 6 or 8 of them, one house, and they all work, put their money together, and they put it all into that one house. So this person is paying that bill, that person is paying this bill, and then they put money into a savings account. And then guess what? They buy up a 7-Eleven. And then after that 7-Eleven, they buy up some trucking company. And then after they buy up that trucking company, nigga, they got properties and they got real estate and all of this other stuff. We don't know how to come together, because our culture is like our epistemology of what we believe in. We believe, like, when we look at our brothers and our sisters, we look at these niggas as just like, oh, well, that's my brother and my sister in the house. That nigga eating up all the cereal. Like, everything is competition.
I think y'all saying the same thing, though.
To an extent. I haven't said it yet. So I'm about to now. And no, I ain't trying to be rude at all. Promise you I don't need no help. So thank you so much. See, this is why I like you, Cooley. I don't care what nobody else says, because I feel like when you do answer questions, you get accused a lot of not answering questions. But I feel like when you do answer questions, you at least are trying to answer them genuinely. And that was a genuine answer, which is exactly why it proves my point, because we don't have a culture. Thank you so much for bringing that up. We don't have a black culture. There is no black culture, right? if you believe, which I don't, that we were brought from another country, stripped of our name and our culture, then whatever we have here is not ours, right? So when we think about gang banging, the first thing come to your mind is a black person. But do we not remember the mobs? Do we not remember the cowboys and the Indians? Those were none but gangs. Do we not remember the slave catchers? Those were none but gangs. They all gang culture. The mob and the mafia did more shooting, more killing, more murdering, more drug dealing than anybody else was doing, right? But now when you think about it, we think about gang like that's black culture. It's not ours. We learned that from somebody else. Everything that we do in this country is a form of programming into our psyche as a group. You see what I'm saying? So there is no real black culture. Now if you go to hip-hop,
how is that systemic oppression?
Well, if somebody else programs you to be something, that's why it's systemic, right? Because it's across the diaspora.
But the point, the thing is
where you go. You go from New York to LA, you get the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
The thing is, Beans, the reason why I don't accept that premise, I don't accept that presupposition of, this systemic oppression and things like that is because we have to take accountability. So with that being said, even if we were influenced by the mob or influenced by the white man or influenced by this, we still have to take accountability to being susceptible enough to be influenced. Like Eve had to take accountability to being susceptible to be influenced by the serpent. This is why that, this is why there were consequences for her actions and that the world is in a fallen state now.
Absolutely, but Cooley, we're not debating whether or not black people need to be accountable or at least responsible, right, for their redemption. We're arguing whether or not systemic oppression still exists. See, I'm too good. You can't change the debate on me.
No, it's not. It's not right? A change of a debate or the topic, right?
It is. Because we already accept how you feel about systemic oppression, so you don't have to regurgitate it. Well, we're debating whether or not it still exists. Forget what black people need to do. We're arguing whether or not that it still exists. That's the debate.
Clearly define
you're saying that it doesn't exist in the way that it used to be. So that's what we're debating if it does, right? Now you made an argument about the laws. Even if I conceded to the laws, my point is that the programming is real. You're highlighting it right now. When you talk
I can agree to all of that. Yeah. So remember when I first made my claim, I said that is not to the same degree. Right. We're not systemically oppressed to the same degree, which means that there's room, like the things that you're saying, I agree with. I don't disagree. Mm-hmm. So I don't think this like Simpin. What's your name again, brother?
Simpin is dad.
Simpin is dead. Just like what he stated, like we don't truly disagree on these things right here. Like these are like everything that you're saying I actually agreed with. And the only part that you disagree with I don't even think you disagree with my presupposition, because you would have to acknowledge that 50 years ago, right, redlining was out. There were laws to hold black people back. 150 years ago, it was slavery, I believe. Yeah, it's about 150 years ago. Yeah, about 150 years ago. So we do know that things progressed. Right. So since things progressed, it's like, OK, we were slaves. OK, boom. We weren't slaves. Jim Crow came about. Redlining came about. The crack era. All of these type of people, that control the banks and all of that. So we know that things still progress forward. With that being said, which makes my standpoint correct, that we are not systemically oppressed to the same degree that we were before in the past. So when black people come on here, or like that video that I reacted to, and has this victim mindset and he's blaming a white man or blaming the system that's oppressing us for him not doing or him not having the ability to achieve certain goals. It's just a lie. It's a lie. You do have the ability. The thing is this, we're all in competition, right? So the competition argument, if you look at it, it's like, okay, if you outcompete the other, if there's a goal that you're trying to obtain and there's 10 people in this trying to accomplish that same goal, but if you outcompete them, like, what system is going to oppress you? All of these systems of hierarchy are based off of meritocracy. They're not based off of, like, the thing is the left is trying to have it based off of skin color and DEI and all of these other type of weird stuff. But the white man, capitalism, no, it's meritocracy. So if you actually assert yourself and become the best version of yourself, that's when you'll have the best. That's when you'll have the best chance to actually succeed in life and make your dreams come true.
I don't think the brother has clearly defined. You haven't clearly defined what systemic oppression is, like specifically what you're referring to.
I guess you have to explain that then too.
No, it's actually irrelevant because he and I have an understanding. So we oppression is. We understand what it is, right? But the thing is that even the last statement that he just made now goes back to what I've already conceded to. That if you make an argument about what can be done on an individualism basis, we know Jay-Z exists. We know Cosby exists. We know Jordan exists. We know these people exist on an individual basis. But that's why I was asking about what we can do as a demographic, what we can do as a unit, right? And to your point, what you said is that we don't work well together and we don't build together and we don't do like the Punjabis do. But that's a form of programming. That's the point. That was done to us. That was put into us to be that way. I don't even like dealing with slavery. We don't even have to go back to slavery, right?
I agree to that, man.
Yeah,
I would say that I agree to it.
Like, it's irrelevant. We don't even need to talk about that. We can just talk about the 1900s and what has been done to us as a people and the way we have been divided and pit against each other, right? Since slavery time, but like I said, we don't have to go back there. And the fact of the matter is that's the reason why the systemic oppression still exists. That's the reason why it's probably more effective now than it ever was, because if we have these opportunities that you present or that you're saying we have as a people, if we actually have these opportunities, but you're saying, and I think it's a bit of gaslighting to say this about the young man in the video, because that young man is a college student. So he's obviously not somewhere sitting back complaining about being oppressed. He was having a conversation with somebody about the subject, and so he was speaking truthfully about it, right? But to that degree, there are a demographic of people. I usually argue.
No, he said actually in that video, there wasn't any gaslighting. He said in that video that, oh, he's oppressed. He even said that, oh, well, my GPA used to be this, but now it's this. And then the guy asked him, well, do you study more than other people? And he even admitted, oh, I don't even study. Then the guy was like, you have a gift. Like, what?
Okay, so, well, I'll acknowledge it might be a part of that video that I didn't see, because I think I just reacted to the clip that might have been like 7 minutes long.
All good.
Yeah, so it might have been some part of it that I see, but I just know the one part that I saw, because it's the argument that I make when I have this debate with people a lot, is that myself, right, I often say I'm not oppressed, but I do still face oppression on a systemic basis. I like to be transparent. So right now I'm dealing with a situation with my child support, right? What is your child support supposed to be based on? It's supposed to be based on your income. Well, they just gave me a number and was like, nigga, pay this. Right? And I'm like, no, because that's not what it's supposed to be based on. According to y'all, the law says it's supposed to be based on my income. And this is about 40 to 50% more than what it should be. And the judge, because for whatever reason, I had never been in her before, but she just decided to say for me, no. My baby mama came and said, I don't want the child support no more. No, I'm not going to get it. I think
that's a real systemic oppression that's happening in the Black community.
Hold on,
in the family courts. I think that's a primary part where it's happening in the family courts.
Yeah, that's a good point. So,
if you attack the nucleus, we already know the stats when it comes to fatherless households versus the father that's in it. If you attack the nucleus, which is the family, then the only thing left is for the influences of the external world. So social media, like, you know what I'm saying? Jesse Jackson spoke about this. Basically, like it was like 20 years ago, talking about how, kids are consuming 8-10 hours of radio, TV, and this is before the internet and social media, all of this. Now these kids, they start off on the devices. So if we're talking about that level of programming, that's why I wanted you to define what you meant when you said systemic oppression. Because I think that my personal belief is that what they do is systemically, they attack the nucleus of the family. They get the father out the picture. They incentivize the mother to be alone. They do this, and this will impact any culture. So if you talk about the Punjabis, or you talk about the other cultures, when you go back in their hierarchy, they could tell you. I was in a car riding with an African, in an Uber riding with an African. I say, hey, do you know the name of your great grandfather? Your great great grandfather? He's like, of course. See what I'm saying? But the average Black kid, he's not really having that depth of family roots. There is no generational wealth without that family background.
Real quick, Beans, before you go, let me just have brother that I just sprung up introduce yourself and state where you from.
Yeah, my name is Brad Lennox. I'm from North Carolina. I'm a Jamaican, and glad to be, in this kind of environment where we speak to different people.
I can't hear you that good. Can y'all hear him really or no?
I don't actually think his mic is connected. But this is God right now, because y'all cut me off, right?
The Beans. Yeah, Beans. Go ahead and land your plane. Land your plane, Beans.
So the point what I'm trying to say to you, Cooley, is that it's not better yet. So what I'm trying to get you to realize is this, bro. In this system, where the law says it's supposed to go one way, she decided to treat me a different way, right? Can I say it's about my color? No. But is it systemic? Absolutely, because I ain't the only person around the country, black, white, or otherwise, who is saying they're going through this same thing, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I myself am not going to sit up here like I'm a victim, but I am dealing with that. I just had to pay $1,200 to get my license back straight, bro. And it's going to be right back messed up because I'm not going to pay the money. Like, no, what you're going to do is give me the reduction that I've asked you for because I deserve it, but based on my income. My baby mama has came and asked to have the child support removed, and you said no. So now the child support is over with. It's not growing. I just owe a little bit of money, but I still want the reduction I asked for, right?
Yeah.
That's systemic, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's across the country, state to state. People are going through this. So when I say systemic oppression, to the brother's point, I'm not just talking about black people, but I'm mostly speaking for us, yes.
But they're not talking about that, though. They're not talking about that.
Real quick, let me respond to what he's saying. I get what you're saying, Beans, and I could just use my own personal situation. I got full custody of my kid, so I don't even have to worry about any of this other type of stuff, right? And, with that being said, it's like we all go through personal situations and situations maybe even together as a group. Who knows, sometimes. But personally, I don't look at it that way. It's like you were dealt a hand of cards and you use them a certain way, which puts you in that situation of why you're on child support in the first place from choosing a wrong woman for this and this. Let's think about my personal situation, right? I had the entire internet attack me for at least 3 weeks. I did not be like, oh, bro, I'm like, they're all, this must be a left-wing agenda and they're all attacking me. It's like the simp alerts and all of these, male feminists, they're attacking me. It had to have been systemic. Someone probably put money into this for all of these channels to make a reaction about me. No, bro. The reality is this. When I started the podcast, I knew exactly what could happen when you speak the truth, right? This is why I never hid anything. Even though that they're going to make up lies and all of these things. And I even, cool, that person lied. I will call out the lie, but I would never even be mad at the reaction channels. I'd be like, bro, some of them is funny. Some of them is trash, right? Some of them is actually really funny. And I even would comment like, bro, this was a good one. It's a lot of lies, but I do like this one. Meaning that I'm not putting the blame on other people of why people was making all of these reaction channels about me. I'm not. Even though I know where it streamed from, I know the root. I know about all of the lies that people told and everything. But at the end of the day, I was dealt these hands. I was dealt these cards was placed into my hands, and I could use them which and every way. And when I look at it, it's like, bro, when you're speaking the truth and you're giving a perspective, there's always going to be different people that's going to take things out of context or just use certain little things that have clickbait. I've already knew about all of the cons that can happen. I know about all of the pros. All of the pros is that we got 3 gentlemen here speaking right now because I built the platform. All of the cons, we got all of the reaction channels making all of this crap about me. But I'm not going to complain because guess what? If I didn't speak the truth and maybe if I didn't make a reaction, or maybe if I didn't make a podcast called No Fugazi and bring a panel of girls on there and give them the truth, and maybe I just pander to them, this probably would have never happened. The left would have been like, oh, he's one of us. Great, good job. You get what I'm saying? Maybe nothing would have happened at all, but I knew I put myself in this situation as far as being a content creator and people came after me. But guess what? I don't blame any of those individuals. I take full accountability for my success and for my failures. As a man, this is just so real quick. As a man, this is just how you have to live. That's the reality of things. No one oppressed me. There's not no YouTube channel that oppressed me, no white man that oppressed me, no none of this. They didn't oppress me. this is how I chose to use my channel and do things, and the consequences happen for it. If it was lies was told, then hey, that's what it is. Sometimes the lies just sound better than the truth. So it's like people just gotta make up things. But I say all of that to say that when you're using your anecdotal situation to explain, to try to prove a point, it's like a moot point, because it's like, bro, you could have just took a different option. So you can't say that you're systemically oppressed. Like, you can't use your anecdotal example to show systemically oppressed, because it's moot. It's like, bro, we all have situations where if we perceive it that way, we'll all be saying that we're oppressed. But the thing is, it's competition. Like, if the come on,
you can't. Come on, man.
But I'll let you go on your rant. Let me go on mine. I was chilling.
Like you used a horrible example. Right?
That was a good example.
No, using the internet shit and the YouTube shit is a horrible example.
No, but
it does not.
Like you're missing. It's the logical entailment. So Beans, real quick. I know Beans, real quick. I got you. I'll let you finish. I got you, real quick, Beans. It's the logical entailment, is what I'm saying. The logical entailment of your argument is saying that, well, I was systemically oppressed because things didn't go my way, meaning that laws stated here.
That's not my
argument. Real quick. There was laws, but your income shouldn't be paying as much as you're paying, because of these laws state that you shouldn't be paying as much as you're paying, right? Mm-hmm. That's your argument. That's the nuance in your argument. You're saying that, well,
that's not my argument. That's me explaining why my child support shouldn't be as much as it is. My argument.
But the intent. Right? Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You're the one who's missing it, so I'm gonna give it to you again.
Okay, go ahead. Let me see if I'm missing it.
Argument, and the reason that, and you can rewind, we can bet money. I said this, you're just not listening. My argument is that the reason why it's systemic is because I'm not the only one that is happening to. My argument was that it goes from New York to LA. It ain't just me. It ain't anecdotal. It's man after man after man. I literally said black, white, Hispanic, and otherwise. It's too many people going through this same situation. Whether it's men paying too much, whether it's men going to jail because they overpaid, men that lose 80% of the time when they try to fight for their custody. All of this is happening from coast to coast. That was my argument, which what makes it systemic.
Yeah, but that point, right, that you just made, we all agreed on it. Everyone, when you were telling your story, we like, yeah, we need to change the laws on this stuff, right? But what you're speaking about now, it isn't compatible when you're speaking about systemic oppression when it comes to race. That isn't compatible when it comes to race. Like, you're using gender, meaning men go through certain things, and then race. No, but
I never said that, Cooley. When I first said, I said to you,
well, that's that's what
systemic oppression doesn't exist.
Beans.
I didn't say systemic oppression of blacks. I said systemic oppression.
Beans. We were speaking about a video where it was a black man that was specifically talking about race.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you switched it over to gender.
But I wasn't questioning the video. I was questioning you, because you said systemic oppression don't exist.
Listen,
I know he ain't just say that out loud.
Yeah,
I think it definitely is compatible, though, because if you go back to the 1940s, look, black men and women were married more than any other demographic in this country. So that changed, and there was a systemic process in order to change that from being the most married to the least married. And it happened in the family. A lot of it happened in the family courts, like exactly what he's describing. So there is definitely a systemic oppression component.
The point is that you're seeing the results.
No, because white men would experience that same system as well. They'll experience that same, what you would say, well, not a fair deal in the systems.
That's
white men would experience that too. But that's different than the argument that when we were speaking about race. Like, you can't be speaking about race and then be speaking about gender and say, oh, we're experiencing the same systemic oppression. It isn't the same. It's much different.
Yeah, but Cooley, we can compartmentalize. We can say there is something that, as white, black, Mexican alike, that we all are subjected to, right? Which is I forget what it's an adjective that describes the capitalism. I can't remember what it is. It's like this very selfish, very destructive version of capitalism, right? I can't remember exactly.
I can agree to that, but my point is this.
Wait, but let me finish my sentence.
I think you just moved the goalpost. I think you just moved the goalpost over to that.
I swear you will see.
All right, cool, got you.
But what I'm saying is this. There are things systemically that affect us all, right? This feminism affects us all, but there are things that affect Black people, just like there are things that affect Asian people. There are things that affect white people. So if you want to have the conversation about Black people, I can. I'm just saying I'm able to compartmentalize. I'm sorry for those who can't, right? I just it's an ability that I have. But right
No,
now,
I get what you're saying.
Specifically, that systemic oppression doesn't exist. You clarified that you're saying it doesn't exist as greatly as it used to, and I'm saying
correct.
I agree.
When we're speaking about race, though.
Okay, so you want to talk about just Black people? I'll do that with you all day long.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We moved off of
the residue of it. What we're seeing is the residue of the systemic oppression. That's what.
Yeah. So here's the confusion, right? What you did was. It's literally called a red herring, where you're trying to divert the argument. So when you came in, your main argument and your main point, we were speaking about race and systemic oppression. That is a fact. Then when you went on,
That's
you
not
went
true.
on.
Y'all was talking about religion, Cooley.
No, yeah, I'm talking about what you. Yeah, but. That's what I said, what you brung up. So we were specifically speaking about race when it came to systemic oppression. That was all fine. We agreed on a lot of things. And then you moved it over and you started speaking about your anecdotal experience, but it was based off you being a man, a gender. We were talking about child support. We all pretty much agreed on that, like things need to be changed. But what you did was you tried to say, well, see, there is systemic oppression when it comes to this. So you tried to use this like gender part to make a point to prove, the panel wrong that there is systemic oppression, where I can agree to, yes, we all see that male and females, we get different treatment in society. Systemically, we do. Like, think about it. Of course, we got to say that it's different because we sign up for selective service. Women don't. So we know things aren't equal. That's totally different than race, my nigga. So you can't try to prove, you proved a point over here with gender, but you actually didn't prove a point when it came to the race. So I don't want you to try to take that point that you proved with gender and bring it over here like, see, nigga, got you.
Right, but it wasn't,
that isn't it.
But it wasn't necessarily about gender. But I see why you're saying that. It was just about the fact of how I was trying to show you how systemically things work. My point,
correct.
Again,
okay, got it. That makes sense. Yes.
My point again was that this thing that happened to me is happening from New York to LA. And that's what makes it systemic. So when you say about redlining, well, damn, I just saw a couple of videos in the past couple of months of people saying they was trying to sell their house. They got offered $130,000 for the house. Then they tried to sell the house and put all white people pictures in there, and they got offered $400,000 for the house. Like, the BS is still happening. Right,
that wouldn't be systemic, though. That's different.
I know you were going to make that argument, but let me finish my sentence so you will see
go
that
ahead.
I'm not making that argument. The point of it being systemic is that they don't have to maintain it. They don't have to stand on guard and watch it and pull a lever. They don't have to wake up every day at 7 a.m. and go pull the systemic oppression lever. There are things that are just deep rooted into the consciousness of Americans themselves that will just live on in infinity, right? Which is the black versus white, Black versus Mexican at this point. Are you serious? The way the immigrants talk about Black people, the way Africans, I wanted that Jamaican dude to stay up here so I can get on his ass too. Jamaican, Haitians, all these people that come over here talking shit about Black people. Where do you think they get that idea from?
Beans, I agree with everything you're saying right here.
Checkmate then.
No, that ain't no checkmate. This is things we just agree with, bro. Like, this is things we already established in previous convos. Like, we know that these are truths. So, yeah, man, that's no
what
disagreement.
We're dealing with as a people. Hey, y'all, look at this, y'all.
But that isn't.
Give his boy the checkmate.
No, listen, Beans, but that isn't systemic oppression. Like how you're thinking. Just because people have, what is it called? Not a social construct, but what is it like? What is it called?
Culture. It's a culture.
Bigotry?
No, what is it called? Where like, all Black people drink, grape juice, grape soda. What is that called again?
Stereotype.
Stereotypes. Okay, cool. That's the word I was looking for. I just had my mind just slipped.
Notions. That's the definition of a stereotype.
Yeah. So let me finish the point that I'm making. Just because there's stereotypes, right? That doesn't mean that you're being systemically oppressed, systematically oppressed. That's what that means. So systematically oppressed. I agree. You put it perfectly. Like, you know, the subconscious of how we view things and these stereotypes, people are going to view someone differently. I'm a black guy with a hoodie on. If I'm walking down the street, automatically black people going to be scared of me and white people going to be like, what's this nigga walking behind me with this hoodie on? What's going on? But if I'm just, you know, if I'm a white chick or if I'm just a regular guy with or a suit on, they may not feel that vibe from me. So we all know stereotypes are rooted in some type of truth. That doesn't coincide. Real quick, that does not mean that we are systemically oppressed because of these stereotypes, bro. That doesn't mean that.
Well, that's true, but I will say this: I don't know too many 6'4" criminals. I gotta be honest. Most criminals I know 5'8", 5'9".
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I see a 6'4" dude with a hoodie on. I think he's finna go hoop.
Fair enough. But Beans,
but you do gotta talk about just the fact that, look, self-destruction is just generally monetized in this culture, but more so than anything in the black community. The black community is the only place where, in black culture, as we know it, is the only place where somebody could say, like, I'm smoking Tuka. That's like a 14-year-old kid in Chicago that they murdered. You know what I mean? And they got a song about it, talking about it, calling them out by name, and everybody's singing along. Now, I get, you could say, okay, well, that is cultural. That's our choice. Nobody's saying that you have to listen to the music, but also on the back end, listen, there are structures that are non-black that are monetizing that entire experience. And even though there's people that's connected to it, it's fueling the gang war, people getting killed. So, I mean, you could consider that systemic oppression, no?
Well, no, you just have to argue from the point that that's not how it started. Right. So the reason why you can argue the systemic part of it is because that's not how hip hop started. Cooley might look young, but he old enough to know damn well when hip hop started, he came into the game on some consciousness.
It was conscious. Fight the power. Yeah.
We've had Public Enemy and the brothers from Poor Righteous Teachers and others come out and talk about how the
Ice Cube spoke up.
We're literally telling them.
Yeah, Ice Cube's. Ice Cube has an interview that's out, and he spoke about it in great detail because, you know, he came out, you know, he was the first one with the West Coast wave and everything was popping off, one of the first ones. And he was like, bruh, when we got big enough, it was like white people came in and they were like, you know, boom, 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 moving some papers around, and it's like hard to say no when they got this check and you living in poverty. But still, I still have to. I can't really put. Yeah. Like the thing is this, right? Like as a man, I really can't blame another man for taking advantage of an opportunity over someone that's lacking. Like if you lacking and you ain't got the bread and you can't do this, but I got the bread and I can invest in this would benefit me more. It'll benefit you, but it'll benefit me more than it'll benefit you. But it's my bread anyway. That's what investments are. Like investments, when people invest in certain things, and I don't mean like stock market and stuff like that, but when people like make true investors, like they invest in businesses and put money down, like these, you know, agencies as far as record labels and stuff like that, they give these rappers this money as a down payment because they know that they're going to make a whole lot more than their artists. Like that's the reason why they're investing. Like they know that they can 10x their money and stuff like that. So when I look at it, it's like, nah, bro, like just as a people or individually, bro, you was just lacking. You made a decision. You signed that contract. Yeah, you didn't know what it was going to be at that end, but guess what? You were happy. It's like this, bro. Here's the analogy. It's like if you meet a chick, you rizz her up. She's feeling the vibes. Everything is going good. You take her out on a date, give her a good experience, and then you clap cheeks because she wants you to clap cheeks. She thinks you that nigga, right? But then down the line, a day later, she regrets giving you her cheeks. So she tries to take it back and say, oh, he graped me. Where it's like, wait, no, you accepted this. Like this was what you wanted. You asked for this D. And this is where black people are trying to be like, because we're using the example of the music industry, like people in the music industry trying to say that, oh, they're being, they were taken advantage of by signing these poor deals, these 360 deals, because of this record label came in with more money. No, bro, you signed that contract at that moment in time. $100,000 was everything to you. You're like, man, I'm about to get this 100K. Like, of course I'm gonna accept it. And then 5 years later, you're like, damn, bro, like, how they, bro, like, you should have told me like it was gonna be like this. No, chick, just like that chick that you met in the club, and or that chick that you gave her that good experience, she gave you that sex, you smashed, and then she trying to take it back. That's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. We have to take accountability to that, bro. We just made the wrong decisions as
I think
a
we might have
people.
moved the goalposts on that one.
Yeah,
though.
absolutely,
We might have
because
moved the
it wasn't a
goalposts
deal.
on that one. The reason why I'm saying that is because the brother Red Hat. What's your name again, brother?
Beans.
Beans pointed out in the beginning that this behavior, this destructive culture, the one that you're talking about, that's programming. And we know that this happens primarily through the music. Now you go and you sign a bad deal or whatever. Maybe maybe it wasn't really a bad deal. Maybe you just mismanaged money. Regardless of the situation of that's an individual, just like what you were talking about. So that individualism, that's not what we're talking about, whether that's a good deal or bad deal. What we're talking about actually is the overall influence that it's had in turning this meat grinder, which is the culture that's programming people to act and behave in a certain type of way, which is the quote unquote systemic oppression.
But it's no. Well, I'm not moving a goalpost, but that's all based off what we accepted. Do you get what I'm saying? You get enough people that will accept some nonsense, enough people that would accept a poor deal. Then it's like, oh, God dang, all of this music and the things that we're being influenced by is controlled by this group of people. They all accepted it. So we're not speaking past one another. No one's moving a goalpost. Yeah. I'm just trying to prove a point and land it home is that we need to take accountability individually, right? If we all take an accountability, guess what? As a group, we'll be taking accountability and we'll make better decisions.
Now, that's the best argument that you've made all night long. Even though it doesn't substantiate that systemic oppression isn't as bad as it used to be, but that's a great argument because it's a true argument that if that happens, that is what we will see. Right. If you see individuals like at a 60 to 70% clip take accountability and start making better choices, then demographically it will look like we are making better choices. Right.
But
so
now
it's never going to happen.
But you don't. What we don't want to miss out on is that if we're talking about systemic oppression in itself, what we're saying is that the people themselves, like I said, you light skin, I get it. But dog, you gotta accept the fact that before we needed to take accountability, them people came and said, we want this music. We see now what we getting from Eazy-E and NWA and Ice-T and how that's impacting the culture out here on the West Coast, where guys are picking up the Uzis and picking up the drugs more so. They're riding and they're listening to this music. We understand how music has influenced and impacted you all as a demographic. We've been studying that since the 40s and 50s with blues music, right? And jazz even in the Renaissance era. We know how music affects you. So now that we got these guys doing this, let's try to push this and ask for more and more and more of it. And we're going to bulk the numbers up on that and make it seem like that's the thing that's selling the most money. So now when the next generation is looking and saying, well, I could do this Tribe Called Quest thing. They are all right, but they in the video with regular jeans and regular felines, and they just say what? But then when I'm looking over here at the gangsters, they got limos, they got bad chicks, they throwing money around and all of that. Which one am I going to
real quick before you go, I want to say something to that. So I always say this, manipulation happens when you focus on the effects instead of going to the root. This whole time, we're always looking for the root. Now, you said you're speaking about the people that pick the music. Where is the root? The root is the people that create the music, right? So if we only create certain type of music where doesn't matter what they pick, it's all going to be good for our consciousness and our society, then guess what? There's no choice. They will always be picking out good music to influence the masses. So I say this to I know he said it's unfair.
Yeah, because you know that art is based in reality. So it's wrong for you to try to say that artists shouldn't create music even.
No. I'm not saying that, Beans. I'm saying this, Beans. influence creates thinking, and thinking creates behavior. The reason why people were making this degenerate music, like even creating it, is because they didn't share good values. Like me and you both know, and I'm sure that maybe the other guys know on the panel, and even the audience know. When hip hop started, it was definitely conscious. It was definitely upbeat. It was not talking about women stripping and twerking and all of this type of degenerate behavior. It was more based off of good. Hip hop embodied better values than it does now. And the reason being is because the people embody better values. So I think that if we embody better values, we would see the difference in our music. But the people are rotten. The people are rotten is because of the values is rotten. The values is rotten is because all of the influence, the culture right now is rotten. Like think about prior to all of this, it was like doo-wop music, the blues, and all of these other music that was kind of R&B and about love and about, a multitude of other things that was like good. It wasn't like degenerate. We wasn't talking about stealing, killing, drinking, and all of these other type of things. So if we embody certain values, and not only that, think about it. The music was better back then is because the nuclear family was stronger.
Well,
if we just being honest.
Going to the 80s, we was down. In 1981, we was down 26% from where we were in 1955.
We were down, but now, bro, I think it's only what as far as black marriages and stuff like that, or our culture is what like 15 to 20% of black people stay married or get married. Like it's super low.
Oh, it's more than that. But right now, I know the numbers is like 28 to 33 for women to men. We got them by like about 700,000 more married black men than black women, which is ironic because it's 2 million more of them than it is us. Right?
Than it is of us.
Yeah,
Facts.
it's 2 million more white women than it is white men too, by the way. I didn't know that until a few weeks ago. But I get the point that you making. It's just as I said, if I'm going through something, if my reality looks a certain way and I'm an artist, my art is going to reflect that. And if the people in power decide to take that specific type of art and fund that more so than they do the tribes of the world and the De La Souls of the world,
Q-tips, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I gotta push back on that though, man, because we be saying that's what I'm saying. Because we be seeing these young kids, man, be 7, 8, they from the suburbs, never seen a gun in their life. They bust a freestyle. It's gonna be about a gap. It's gonna be about something they doing in the streets. You know what I mean?
Right, but you talking about now?
Yeah, I mean, even when I was
right now, that's what I'll concede. But what I'm saying is, we're talking about how it originated. We're saying that in the beginning, when hip hop is being formed, and you got this one genre where mostly everybody is doing this. It's goofy. Go back and listen to the lyrics of DOS Effects, right? They want effects. It was so goofy. I'm steaming. Agony. Why is everybody always picking on me, right? Like it was really kind of just like fun and goofy. Method Man, all of them, even though they talked about Jimmys and all of that, it wasn't just straight up murder, bang, bang, kill that we got now. Right, but what we're saying is at that time, right? Well, me, myself, and who ended up becoming an artist, when I'm looking around and I'm saying, I love the fun that they're having over here, but these guys getting all the money, it seems. And then this is more so reflecting what I'm seeing. Now, to your point, yeah, those kids in the suburbs, they're looking at, again, the popular vibe. The popular vibe is the guy with the limos and the rings and the jewelry and all the money and the Jordans and the women and everything else. But us that was in the hood, gang banging, drug dealers, selling drugs, it didn't matter how much I might have wanted to say what. When I sat down in front of that pen and pad and the beat came on, I was like, my 4-5 pointed at your tempo, shoot a hole straight through your dimple. Like,
yo, real quick, things. Yeah, hey, let me make a quick announcement. Everybody on Facebook, we closing down the Facebook stream. Come on over to YouTube right now. That's No Fugazi Podcast on YouTube. Facebook stream is being closed down now. Had to take a quick piss break, but what was y'all talking about? Did the topic move on or no?
No, we was talking about the fact that even you was a gangster rapper. Let us hear about your 4-5 and your tech. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely was, man.
Shit all on a chick neck. Like, we know what it was. That influence is real, but that influence got as heavy as it did based on the fact that the funding for it was greater. And people are going to go where they think the money is at.
I mean, but can we also be real and just say that that shit is entertaining as fuck? I'm just let's be real, bro. If you listen to a song
It's an entertainment
that's
factor.
talking about doing a drive-by and it's listing the people that are real life people, this is the brink of entertainment. This is like reality TV, except for it's a song and all of the elements are in it that will get your blood pumping and give you a rush. Now you might just
That's
use
what
that
we did because I don't listen to that shit.
You might just use that to go to. I do every now and again. I'll listen to some drill. So you might just listen to that to go to the gym. Like, you know, I'm old, got 5 kids, all of that. You feel me? I'm living my life. I'm square far removed from the streets at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? But somebody who's 16, 15, 16, listen to that same track, he might pull a drive-by to that same joint. You know what I mean? But yo, this is what I also.
Let me tell you something real quick, bro. To that, my uncle told me a long time ago, Cooley. This was mid-90s, everything cracking, and we used to listen to all the, you know, the Jay-Z's, all the dope boy rappers. My uncle used to always listen to Too Short. I was like, man, I don't understand this shit. Why you won't listen to Hove and them? He's like, man, I sell drugs all day. Why I want to listen to these niggas rap about selling drugs? I want to listen to somebody rap about some hoes, you know what I'm saying, kicking and having fun. I don't want to listen to these niggas lie about drug sales they ain't never been a part of, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't want to listen to these guys rap about folks that died for real. The entertainment factor for me is listening to a Method Man or any of these cats, and I feel like they're doing it for the art of battling. But that's true. It's like I watch battle rap. I don't think none of these niggas ain't no killers for real.
That's what I'm saying. But that's you though.
Super entertained by that, right? Because
that's you. See what I'm saying?
I know. I'm making my point about me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and even when we
people
think about it,
Kool-Aid. Like people have, this is what I want to say. This is what I actually want to say. It's like like the biblical story. It's like they was who you gonna free, Jesus or Barabbas. Niggas chose Barabbas. Niggas want to listen to that drill. They want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? If you get up and be like, nah, we shutting it down, like we really make a movement in the community. Like, yo, we go into every recording studio, every nigga that we hear with pop, 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 ad-libs, we jumping them niggas. We hang, you know what I'm saying? We gonna put an end to this. Bro, we gonna get more pushback from the black community than anywhere else.
Yeah, I'll say on the entertainment part, when I'm looking at the whole entertainment argument, that is true. We could say that it's more entertaining, but we have to understand, like, where did that spirit come from for us to seek out this type of entertainment? I would say it came from the spirit of Eve. That's the reason why she was, you know, susceptible to bite the apple via the serpent influencing her, because the serpent put forth an entertaining argument. You could have the knowledge of good and evil just like God. You can become like God. That's entertaining to the woman. So when you look at it, and like when you look at all of this and you peel the layer back to everything, it's like, all right, so we have to understand how things are, how the world operates in order to get to how it should be. Right? Like, think about it. We're speaking about.
Let me ask you a question. How are you blaming?
Let me finish my point. That was just an example when I spoke about the the spirit of Eve. Don't get your panties in a bunch.
Oh, it's just that you blaming Eve for the serpent influence. Like, you said influence.
No, I didn't blame. So the blame is on Eve for being susceptible to it. So I don't drink, smoke, or cuss. The reason why I'm just not susceptible to it. I don't masturbate. I'm just not susceptible to it. But there are other people susceptible to it. You get what I'm saying? But there's other things that I am susceptible to that maybe other people aren't, right? So I'm just saying that, like, there's a reason why the serpent just couldn't influence Adam. There's a reason to it. That masculine essence, that masculine presence, being like, what? I have directions by God. I'm not wavering off of that. I don't care what you say or how you say it. I'm not wavering off of that. But when the serpent seen Eve, like, oh, well, this is a weaker being, a more susceptible being. Here's my way of getting Adam. Through Eve. I say all of that to say, like, because we're having these conversations, and I think it's good dialogue. I think it's good for the audience. What you say?
Why is he agreeing with that shit? Hey, this guy next to me is a super Christian, right? Why are you agreeing?
Niggas, because he knows it's facts. But listen, let me finish. This is a good conversation because at some points of the conversation, we were speaking about how things are, like how things is, and then we were speaking about how things should be. And I think that we all agree to how things should be. Maybe we have little disagreements about the root of things, like how things are, but you know, it is what it is. But in order for us to really get to how things should be, we must understand how things are, how the world operates. And this is just true. The world is competition, right? So having a victim mindset, harping on systematic oppressions and all of that stuff, it's like you can perceive it that way, but the reality is that the white man was in position in the first place. He was in position in the first place to offer us the bigger bag, the musicians the bigger bag, and picking out certain music because he won the competition. We was the white man's slave. You get what I'm talking about? It's like the white man won the competition. Prior to all of this, think about it. If you just go way, way back,
Egypt,
hundreds of years ago, we enslaved our own people. Like Africa was never Africa is a continent. It was never like, oh, we're one people. Many different nations, many different beliefs in Africa. So we were enslaving our own people, which made it easier for the white man to come over here and enslave us. Like, this is the thing. We were never, because that's the part that, you know, we have to acknowledge.
They didn't capture nobody. They bought the slaves.
We could say they bought the slaves, but I mean, we there's also a history that slaves, it was taken by force as well. Like, think about it. How much can you really negotiate if a nigga got a pistol and you got a spare? It's going to be an easy negotiation, nigga. Let me get 5 million of them niggas now. Well, 5 million is a lot. I don't know. Is that enough gold or enough, you know, supplies? I'll guess take them. You have the guns. So there's not much negotiation you can do.
They had...
That's a silly ass story to me that people really believe that they brought a bunch of niggas from over there to over here. Like, it don't, like, if you just think about it, try to forget everything you've ever been taught and ask yourself, even just based off how the world looks right now, would it make more sense that they came over here and took niggas from over here to over there, or from over there to over here? And I think if you just forget everything you already been taught, all the lies, you would say, yeah, it make more sense that they took niggas from over here to over there. Seeing as how niggas over there is still in slavery. They still in slavery to this day.
So we got history and proof that black people, that we got proof that, bro, slavery did exist like that. The slave trade existed where they brought people over from Africa. Now, it's not to say all of the black people here was totally from Africa. No, I'm sure there was some Native Americans that looked like the Indian Native Americans, but then there was also some Native Americans, nigga, that looked like me and you. Yes, that was black. Of course, there was black people already over here, nigga. We got the freaking in what is it? In freaking in Mexico, the Mayans and stuff is here. So that came. We were already over here anyway. So. But anyways, listen, man, I've been rocking for 3 hours, brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I got two other brothers I'm gonna bring up right before we wrap up, though. And I'm gonna just close out with the other. I'm gonna probably spend about 15 minutes with these other two brothers, and then I'm gonna wrap up. But yo, any last thoughts or any last questions for me, man, before I go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first so I can finish my Hennessy. I just want to say, man, I'm glad that you still rocking out. I appreciate you for opening up the panel like this. You need to do it more like this so people won't think you scared of us. You know, as content creators, we can handle 2 and 3 at a time.
Word.
Calls, you know what I'm saying? This is what we do. But and I'm just saying, man, look, don't let it bother you too much that I had to beat you like this. I do this all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but salute to you,
Beans,
dog.
you funny.
Bro.
Salute to you, Beans. Have a blessed one.
All right, to the other fellas too. Peace to y'all, bro.
All right, peace,
y'all.
Peace, man.
Yo, Simpin is dead. Thanks for having me. You know what I mean?
Of course, brother.
Definitely entertained by this show. I'm gonna pull up or whatnot. Could you? Matter of fact, can you? If not, it's cool. But could you like break down what's in the tiers or whatnot, like the membership?
Oh, the tiers is I mean, it's just different things. So gang is $5, Hitman is $10, Mob Ties is $25. When you click on it, you'll see the different perks that you get as far as the tiers. But if you join Mob Ties, that's a $25 tier. You locked in with me. I'll personally hit you back on. You could hit up my main Instagram, and we could talk on there, chop it up, and any idea. We could, just bring back different ideas back and forth. I'll always have you up on a panel. Anytime you want to come up, you'll be priority as far as the Mob Ties. Fully priority the entire time as far as debates. But yeah, just look, when you click on it, you'll see all the type of perks and stuff that you get as far as the memberships.
That's in the description.
It's all in the description, and then you can DM me personally because I'll know exactly who's on Mob Ties, and you can DM the main Instagram. You DM the No Fugazi page, that's going to be my two assistants handles that account. I'm barely on there, but they just talk to me and let me know, hey, this person hit you up. If they deem it worthy, they'll let me know. Sometimes if they don't deem it worthy, they may not even let me know. So
Facts. Yo, I want to say this, bro. Salute, bro. Appreciate you for having me. You know what I mean? I know you're a family man like myself. You feel me? Hey, yo, so shout out to you, fam. And I'm out, man. I'm gonna watch the rest of the show. Peace. Simpin is dead, baby.
Appreciate the love, man. Have a blessed one, brother.
For sure.
All right, let's get a few more other people up here. Switch up the panel a little bit. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name and where you from.
Fearless, Dallas, Texas.
Fearless, Dallas, Texas. And you was in the background chilling and the entire time I think I seen you in here. Anything that you wanted to speak about or debate about today?
Yeah, questions. So if it turns into a debate, so be it. So quick statement. They say that, I have a daughter. They say that a daughter's first love is her father. He often serves as her primary role model in her life. So I set the standard for any other man that comes. My question to you is, you being a father, and there's going to come a time when your daughter should date. How would you feel if a man came up to you, he's dating your daughter, and he says, yeah, I'm not marrying her, but I'll knock her up? What kind of example, or would you let that happen with your daughter? And if not, why are you setting that example? Because you should be the first example for your daughter. You should set the gold standard.
So you're speaking specifically about marriage, meaning that since I'm not married, but you are making the assumption that since I'm not married by the state, that I want my daughter to be married by the state. That sounds like the assumption that you're making.
The guy says, not even that. If the guy says, yeah, I'm not marrying your daughter, she's good enough to have a child with, but I'm not going to marry her.
Yeah, so that isn't my standpoint, but let's just say hypothetically let's just give you an answer to your question. If that happened, how I operate with my daughter, I'm going to be in a process of selecting her mate. I'm not going to be in a process of just letting her blow in the wind and talk to guys and date guys and she makes that decision on her own. No, I'm going to be the main decision maker when it comes to choosing her mate. With that being said, currently right now, the laws doesn't benefit a man. It only benefits the woman to get married. So I could look at it and say, well, hey, I want my daughter to reap all the benefits, but I don't want the man to reap all the benefits. But I know that isn't good. It isn't good for a woman to have this perception, this perceived power that if I don't feel a certain type of way, I could just leave this man and I can get half. I can collect alimony and all of these things. I can reap all of these benefits from this man. It's not good to have that mindset. Men lead, women follow. So what I would tell my daughter is you can get married by the state if that man wants to marry you by the state. If that man doesn't want to marry you by the state and he wants to just marry you in a church, that is also good. I wouldn't say that that's bad. You can still get married in a church, and that's a beautiful thing. When you peel back the layer to all of this, though, when you peel back the layer to marriage and signing a paper or married in a church, when you peel back the layer, what it is it's a man and a woman in a committed relationship. And if it's the dynamic of what I'm speaking about, which I'm sure that you would agree to too, is a man protecting and providing and a woman being submissive and following a man's lead. You would agree to that type of dynamic in a relationship, right? Cool. So the woman, there's not much benefit meaning from the physical standpoint. There's not much benefit or anything that will really change from a marriage and, a serious committed relationship. There's a few benefits, like some tax benefits and, other little benefits like that. But there's not much. There's not a difference between the love that you have for your woman when you're not married is going to be the same love that you have for your woman and she has for you when you're married. Marriage and signing a piece of paper does not change the fact that you love this woman and you will take a bullet for this woman if it comes down to it.
So
you are committed to it. Committed to her.
I'm glad you said that. You said
the only thing that changes, really, real quick.
You would take a bullet for this woman. That means you would die for a woman, but you wouldn't marry the woman. That's confusing to me. Why would I give my life to someone who I wouldn't die for, and I'm scared that she would take half my money, but I'm not afraid that my life would be taken?
Yeah, it's not as scared as acknowledging truth. So acknowledging truth doesn't mean that you're scared. Like, I can acknowledge that,
All right, let's take scared out of it. Why would you give your life to someone but not be your wife to someone?
Yeah, so
because it's like you're saying, I'm okay that someone takes my life for her, but I wouldn't be okay if we got divorced and she took money from me. My life is okay, but my money is not.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if a man is in a committed relationship with a woman and he loves this woman, the natural thing of what you agreed to, which was the presupposition, the relationship where the man protects and provides for the woman. When a man is protecting and providing for a woman, it's not like he's forced into doing that or he has to think about doing that. Like, if someone comes up and slaps your girl butt, it's going to be a natural reaction to grab homie and punch him. You don't have to think about this. It's a natural reflex of being a masculine man and a protector and a provider. So that's going to be the natural instinct to, if someone was hypothetically, someone was pointing a gun, like, oh, you're gonna move your chick and move your kids. Like, men have this natural instinct of being a protector and a provider. So when you're signing a contract, when we're speaking about signing a contract, that's just being aware of the truth. The truth is that women are incentivized to break that contract. That's not saying that we are afraid. That's not saying that, think about this, right? Let's just use that same logic. Well, I'm going to protect and provide for this woman. So therefore, if I'll take a bullet for this woman, she should wear the boxers in a relationship and she should tell me what to do, since I'll take a bullet for her anyway. That's what that same logic, let me finish. That's what that same logical entailment would mean, because we'll just let whatever the woman wants, we'll do. No, the woman wants the marriage. If she wants the marriage, I'm not signing that freaking piece of paper. That has nothing to do with me protecting and providing for you, though.
Question. You could sign a piece of paper. This is just a prenup could get you out of pain, but procreating with the woman doesn't get you out of pain. You're going to pay child support no matter what. So why would you procreate with a woman that you didn't trust enough to marry? And I say that because you say
it's
that
the laws.
You're the exception to the rule. That's what you said. So why would you be?
Wait, what you talking about?
Just in general, you said, hey, I'm the exception. Like when you had a child and you had ownership of your child or custody of your child. Why would you procreate with a woman that wouldn't make a good mother? That would be one. Number two, you say that your wife was the exception. If my wife is the exception, that means I vetted her. If I vetted her, I trust her enough to procreate with her because she's going to be a good mother. That means I would trust her enough to be with her. So have you not vetted the person correctly? Because it seems you're saying I don't want to get married to the state because she may take my money.
No, it's just
your money by having children with her.
Well, I understand what you're saying. It's the point that it incentivizes the woman to leave the man. So the thing is this. If you want to get married, you can get married in the church. Why not get married in the church? So here's the thing.
Why haven't you gotten married in the church?
I got you. Here's the thing. is literally no way that any human being can defeat the argument that, because I'm only speaking the truth. I'm not giving an opinion. When you're speaking to me, you're asking questions, you're making assumptions, in which your assumptions was incorrect. Just to let you know, the assumptions that you made about my woman or my situation, it was incorrect. So you're making assumptions and you're giving opinions. I haven't gave none of those assumptions or opinions at all. I'm just stating what's true. And what's true is that it isn't in a man's best interest to actually sign a contract where the other party is incentivized to break it. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. With that being, real quick, let me just finish my point.
Who can just take me to court and
let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Well, one is much differently. So just to answer that question, if you get married to a woman and she divorces you, not only can she get child support, but she can get alimony as well. So that's two different things. So if you are just in a relationship with the woman and you get married through the church, the only thing that she can take is, well, depending on the state, if you're living with a woman for mad long, I think certain states, you do got to pay that woman some bread. But the reality is that if you're only married through the church and you're not married through the state, the woman can't get any alimony. She can only get child support if you procreate with her and have kids with her. So the point is this. The point is me acknowledging truth. Here's what's facts, because I'm only going to speak that. Me acknowledging truth that women are incentivized to divorce a man, which means that it's not in a man's best interest to marry a woman via the state. That is a fact. That is a true fact. I'm never going against marriage. I am not secular. I don't believe that people shouldn't get married or shouldn't strive for a holy spiritual, sacrament ceremony within God. You get what I'm saying? I think that that's a beautiful thing. And that would definitely happen with my situation as well. It just hasn't happened, right? But with that being said, it will happen. Like, I will get married through the church. At some point in time, I will get married through the church. But at the end of the day, this is my life and this is how I run my life as a man, right? I'm not asking you how you run your life. You want to go ahead and sign. Think about it. Are you married?
Yes.
So think about me. I would shame you right now. I could say, bro, you're not even masculine, bro. You freaking, what type of man signs a contract for a woman that's incentivized to break it? She could just wake up one morning and buy half. Like, I could think about this.
Incorrectly. I made sure that
I'm not making no assumptions. No, we're just speaking about the facts real quick. I'm not making no assumptions that, that your woman isn't a good woman. I'm not making those assumptions. Whatever your situation, it is what it is. I'm just stating what's true. You did sign a contract and that woman is incentivized to break it. That is true. You can't argue it. The only thing that you can do to me is make ad hominem attacks and make assumptions on things. That's the only thing that you can do.
I think you would be more at risk by having children with a bad woman than marrying the bad woman. That's why.
But still, look how you started the topic. I think that you put bad woman. You're assuming that
any woman, they would be more incentivized to get child support from you. That's why you have groupies or whomever get with the NBA guys, not for love. They don't marry those guys.
That isn't true. We see these tradcons that married up. What's the one guy, the one tradcon? The wife just divorced him not too long ago. But we see these tradcons that are in relationships, are in marriages, Christian or Jewish marriages, and they're locked down with this woman for X amount of years. Then the relationship goes sour. And she was a good woman, actually a virgin. These virgins are leaving a man, right? It's because the thing is this: you have to understand woman. Why will we incentivize the weaker being that is more susceptible to outside influences? I'm not going to incentivize the being that is susceptible, that's more susceptible to outside influences. It is against the Bible. It is against any type of religion or any type of logical epistemology truth. Like, it's just against all of that. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense.
Sir, fornication is against the Bible, but that's
yeah, for sure. For sure. Everything is.
You just spent time talking about black culture and all the rap and how bad it is. But black women have the most out of wedlock than anyone in the world at 72%. But you're contributing to the badness of the black culture by having children out of wedlock. So how can you say the culture is bad?
No, my woman is white. She's not black.
I'm saying in general. So your first child's mother was white?
No, she was mixed. But so I get what you're saying.
Come on.
He said, "God damn."
Come on, you're giving me fugazi.
No, she was mixed. She wasn't.
All right, but not to get on a race, but when you have a child with a white woman, your children are still.
I'm just messing with you, man. I get what you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm saying this, bro. As far as the whole you bringing up, you were just having a conversation about the hip hop and how it's the culture is rotten. Wouldn't you say that you would be on that same path of not really starting something that's ground rooted in something that's good? Well, we could say that about. I agree with what you said. Were you a virgin when you met your wife, and was she a virgin?
But I'm not. I don't talk religion. That's why I said I'm not going to bring religion in it. I'm not.
But
I'm not
when
in
we
that.
speak about
God, this,
yeah,
Bible,
but when
this,
we
Bible, that. So I don't use Bible. So then I can't be considered a hypocrite. Because
I'm not either. So when we got you. I got you. When I'm speaking about biblical stuff and I'm using these things as an example, there's not a human being. I've said it many times on my podcast. Everyone is within sin. Everyone is a sinner. So with that being said, when I'm speaking biblically or I quote a Bible verse, that's in the context of that conversation that I'm having. That's different than this conversation. Or I would use it as an example like I just used, meaning the example that I just used when I spoke about it's not in the Bible, it doesn't make sense, is illogical, meaning that I'm just saying that we have all of this history and years of proof that shows that incentivizing the gender that is more susceptible to outside influences is a stupid thing. Like, we don't incentivize them. Like, since they're more susceptible to outside influences, we need to protect and guide them and make sure those influences don't get to them. So if anything, we should be like, bro, I'm not signing this contract so you could be incentivized to leave. That's stupid. This is why
who is more of an influence or who has more of a legacy? Meaning you can leave your wife anytime, but your children are going to be there forever. So if you didn't marry the right woman, that influence that she's going to have on your children are long lasting. So
for sure, yeah. I mean, that's
someone that you don't feel that you can commit to. If that woman is going to do that to you, that means you didn't vet her correctly.
For sure. I mean, we have to say that maybe you didn't vet her correctly. Did Adam vet Eve correctly?
No, God just gave him to her. He didn't vet.
He just gave him. So that
he
means
said, here goes your wife. So maybe God didn't vet correctly.
That proves my point even more, is that even God couldn't stop Eve from biting that apple. So we can't stop a woman from leaving us, but then we got to sign a contract that incentivizes the woman to leave us? What I'm saying is this. Look, real quick. I got you real quick. Just understand this. This is the point that I'm landing home. It's nonsensical to sign a contract that the other party is incentivized to break it. Not only that the other party, from a biological standpoint, how they were created, how they were made, they're more susceptible to outside influences. Meaning that most of these divorces that happens, 70 to 80% of divorces, women initiate. They initiate. Why would you
procreate with a woman who can take your child away from you? What you're saying is she's incentivized. So if she's incentivized to leave you, that means she's incentivized to leave you with your child. That means you become a weekend warrior dad and you have no influence on the next generation. So why would you vet and procreate with that type of woman? If she's incentivized to leave you just because of your money, that means she's
missing the
incentivized
point.
to leave you to take you for child support. Am I correct?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Let me just still man your point. So you know that I understand you.
Yes, sir.
Your argument is, well, there are laws that does incentivize the woman if she divorces you. So, therefore, you need to vet properly and make sure you find the best woman, a good woman with good morals and good values, so that if goes away. Pretty much what you're saying. Like, that if is not going to happen.
No, the if never is going away.
Stop it right there. Stop right there. Stop.
Yeah, you just reduce the chances.
So stop it right there. That's the point that I'm speaking about. So now I still mean your argument. You know that I understand what you're saying. Now try to understand what I'm saying. That if never goes away. Mm-hmm. Never goes away. From a biological standpoint, God knows that chick is more susceptible to outside influences. Everybody knows. The scientists know. Anybody in their right mind, you could just Google it. It's the truth, right? So why? The thing is now we know the truth about stuff. We know that we need to find a good woman, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that there are these laws that incentivizes women to leave. So even if we find a good woman, a great woman, that if is still going to be there like you just admitted to. So this is what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about trying to mitigate risk. All this is trying to mitigate risk, right? When the woman isn't incentivized to leave you, what I'm saying is, nigga, you can take the if away by not signing the contract.
But you can't take the if away. If a woman is incentivized, let's just go along your path. A woman is incentivized to leave you, and there's laws to help her. I just watched a podcast by MDR about a woman leaving, took the kid. The kid is 24 years old. He still has back child support. They took all of his 401k. So the laws are still there. The laws are there. Either you're going to be a wife or she's going to take all your money anyway with your kids. There's guys that they take so much money, it's not even incentivized for them to work because they don't make enough to do it. So
you talk about child support.
That is correct.
Yeah,
so you keep saying it like this woman is going to leave you and that's the end all be all. But if your girl right now said, you know what, I'm gonna leave you and I'm still going to take your money, you still lost. So you're saying it like I don't get married and that negated the circumstances. No, sir. Not
negate. It mitigates. It doesn't take it away, but it mitigates the risk. Like, what I'm trying to say is just thinking about it logically, we're not getting rid of, we're probably not going to even change the marriage laws, right? But all niggas want to bust a nut and leave a legacy, right? So it's like, all right, god dang, they ain't changing the laws on, child support. But what we do have power of controlling is signing that dang piece of paper so she don't double cook us. Because the alimony is the cook. The alimony is the cook. Like, you get half. That's the cook. The
but you can protect against that with a prenuptial. You cannot.
But not always.
You can pay child support no matter what. You ain't no prenuptial to stop you with child support, bro.
Well, here's the thing. Even with the prenup, I'm the exception because I got full custody, so I don't got to worry about that. But even with the prenup could still be contested. Like, the prenup could still, anything could be contested in a court of law, but the prenup, maybe not. It could be contested, and it could not be that strong to withhold up in court. So even with the prenup, I've seen many situations where a homie had a prenup and, it still ended up bad for him. He still had to pay half. So the prenup isn't even a full protection. The prenup does help. I would agree to that. So that's the part that we agree on. Like, okay, you can go ahead and sign that contract and you can get that prenup and make sure you got a good lawyer that written everything properly in there so you're secure. But even with that, it can still be contested. But yeah, man, I'll say that we really don't have an argument because I'm not against marriage. I'm just against the part where it's signing a contract. So I'm under the belief that we should try to change these laws because the laws is crazy. We should try to change the laws on, the alimony laws because it doesn't make sense. It's nonsensical. It was laws that started from pre-modernity when women weren't in the workforce and women weren't really in getting higher education, but they are getting higher education and they are in the workforce. So why do we have this crazy incentivization for them? And then, as far as the child support as well, I think those laws, we just had the guy Beans on. He was like, bro, like, I'm paying too much. It said that I only should pay this percentage, but they charging me this crazy percent. So when we're looking at things, this conversation is about mitigating risk. It's not about, not having a good relationship with a woman, and not having children, not having a nuclear family. I'm not against any of those things that's good. I'm just against that law. That's it. Yeah.
But the thing is, you're going to vet the man that dates or marries your daughter. And if he comes to you and he says, Mr. Fugazi, how you doing today, sir? I love her. We ain't getting married. I mean, she's going to move in with me. We're going to, we're just going to do this thing spiritually. We're going to have some kids. You're fine with that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna vet the mess out of him, and I will be 100%.
If he says we're not getting married though.
Yeah, through the system, but through the spiritually and through a church, he's getting married. That's what you just stated. I'm fine with that. Yeah, the same thing that I will recommend for another man and for another woman, I will recommend for my own daughter. I don't think that that's bad. That's like, when I look at it, it's not anything bad. I think that if someone thinks is bad, they've just been socially constructed to believe in some nonsense that doesn't add up. That doesn't really make sense.
I can't argue if you're saying that if you feel that way and you can feel that way for your daughter, then
yeah, I could. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So the thing is, my meta ethics is totally compatible with my normative ethics. So meaning like the applications, the things I put forward, like my morality and my epistemology and my beliefs is compatible with, the practices and the applications that's pushed forward. For myself, it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Well, two more things. One.
Gotcha.
What was the other? Well, one, it doesn't affect me because I don't go, but you said something that kind of was crazy to me. You said a guy going to a barber shop is like feminine because the guy is cutting his hair. You would let a guy cut his hair. You got to explain that one too.
Yo, that's funny. So that clip only got popular because, some big reaction channels reacted to it and clipped it and took it fully out of context. So I did a podcast with my friend. That podcast I was on with one of my closest friends, and we grew up in high school together and stuff. And I was making a joke. So in high school, the story of why I said that is because I had braids in high school, like cornrows. I got braids now, but I had cornrows, and then I cut my hair my senior year, and I jacked up on my haircut. But once I knew how to cut my hair good, I started cutting my friends' hair. And like when you could do something as a man, you kind of joke around with your friends because they can't do it, but you could do it. And I'll just be joking around. It's like an old joke. I used to be like, nigga, you gotta come to me to get your hair. You not no real man. Like, it's a joke. Like, even if you look at these memes and type of these TikToks and stuff, people will be in a barbershop, be getting a haircut, and some dude that's cutting his hair will like touch his lip. So it's all these gay things of gay barbers type stuff. So I was just making a joke based off of that. I don't really mean that if you get your hair cut by a man, you feminine, because I cut other people hair. Well, I used to cut other people hair, so that means that I will be feminine too. So nah, man, it's just a joke, which they took out of context.
No problem. It doesn't affect me. I only cut my hair.
But when you think about it, like men locker room talk, like say if you could bench more than me, you'll be like, nigga, you a low nigga. You a low nigga. What? Get your weight up. That's the same thing. If I could cut my own hair and you can't, nigga, what? You ain't no real man. Nigga, I cut my own. Listen, you got to schedule an appointment. Nigga, I don't got to schedule no appointment. I go in my mirror and do it myself. You a low nigga. So that's what that is. That banter back and forth. It's just jokes.
No problem. I won't hold you up. I'll let the other person on. I appreciate. I know that we may not agree 100%. I see things a little bit differently, but I appreciate you letting me come on and barter with you.
For sure, man. Have a blessed one, brother. I appreciate the convo.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's see who we got. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name. Where you from?
Good brother Cooley, what's up, man? It's Carl.
Hey, what's going on, Carl? I think you said that you wanted to come up. I had brung you up, but your internet was kind of bad, so I put you back in the queue.
Yeah, it's been a couple of times, man, that I just wasn't all the way together. But I appreciate you giving me a shot. I appreciate what you're doing. I think the first time that I really wanted to come up was like after the election, and you had like 5 or 6 brothers up. Like that gives me the juice, man. Just like a couple of minutes ago, you had 4 or 5 brothers up talking about the race thing. But what you're doing is so important, man. It's not a lot of platforms you can come on and you can see a young brother having other brothers up, not just on the color thing, but just period. You know, talking success, talking productivity, talking making it. Now, I do have some things that I would like to contribute, you know, in the future going forward. Like I have some experiences to bring. Some of the things that really interest me. I was born and raised in the church, and I resonate with a lot of the material that you talk about, man. And especially just from the representation of like a young Black man in America. Like I have experience from both the matriarchy and the patriarchy. I'm lucky in that, you know, my grandfather, he led a lot of the civil rights activity here in the city. I'm down in Tampa Bay, Florida right now.
Word.
I was born and raised in Atlanta, but you know, and then my grandpa, he tells me stories about his grandpa. But then both of my grandparents, maternal and paternal, were married. Have been married for 50, 60 plus years. So they've got, you know, successful relationships. But so I mean, most of the things that you talk about with the brothers, you know, I love to hear it, and I look forward to contributing. So I just wanted to sit on, you know, to talk with you about that.
No, man. I appreciate you for coming on up. Yeah, man. I think this is your first time up. Have you ever came up before?
I haven't. I've been watching for a good little while now. But it's my first
so
time
listen, man. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. We do these every Wednesday. We will do debate night. I want to do it. Sometimes I do it more formal and more, you know, organized, where I actually debate one individual. So those that happen sometimes. Normally those are on Sundays, but sometimes on Wednesdays as well. But debate night is, you know, I can construct this to come on and to keep myself, you know, up to par, to test my own logic and my own perspective. But not only that, gain more knowledge and gain other people's perspectives. Because there's times where I had to pound them up and I'm just homies talking. I'm like, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, that's good. So I started this and doing the panels, you know, just to have the discussion, man. Have the discussion. Get some new brothers up here. Platform is pretty big, so if you got a podcast of your own, you can shout it out, stuff like that. Give other people the opportunity to really, you know, push forth their perspective and their worldview in a sense, or have it challenged by me or someone else on the panel. So, yeah, man, I would say welcome to debate night. And you know, if there's not anything that specifically that you want to speak about tonight, come on another night, man, and just come ready with some topics. Or if you join a membership, I'll make you priority within the debate nights, meaning that you and whoever else is in there, but in that you're joining the debate nights, you'll be the first people that I bring up to debate myself or to debate other people or to start up topics and conversations and stuff.
Sounds good, man. I think that's the ticket, brother. I think that's the ticket because what you're doing is so necessary, man. You know, this dialogue, this information, you know, the time is now. And I'm here for it, brother, for real. You got some nice looking people on here, some good people that, you know, I really like what you're doing, man, and the way folks are coming through. I'm age-wise not too much older than you, you know, but like we cut our teeth on this whole internet thing. But just to see, you know, you talk about this in some of your other shows, what it's done, you know, for the culture and for the people and just for America as a whole and just the world. So, you know, it's a blessing and an honor, brother. But I know you've been going for a minute. You know, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah.
So.
All right, brother. Yo, listen, you said your name was Carl?
Yes, sir.
Carl, okay, man. Where'd you say you from?
I'm from Atlanta originally, but I'm down here in Tampa Bay, and like my dad's from here. My grandpa's grandpa is from Alachua. Yeah, I'm down in Tampa right now.
Word, man. Yeah, man. So, yo, shoot me a DM if you want to go ahead and join a membership. You'll be priority, and we'll chop it up from there, man. I'll see you next week on debate night then.
Yeah. I jumped on the gang. I kept trying to figure out how to join. So I jumped on the game.
If you join the gang, that's cool. Just shoot a DM. Just shoot a DM to the No Fugazi page then, and you could still, like, if you have any ideas of some topics, you could still, talk to us through that. But if you want to speak to me directly, you join a membership. You could always upgrade your tier. You join a membership, and we'll chop it up directly, because that means that, you have full access to me. Why not? You really supporting the podcast. I'm going to really, incorporate your ideas and the things that you have into the show as well. I think we got more people trying to join. Hey, I'm about to close out, man. Maybe I'll bring one more up, see if someone want to debate. But any other questions, or are you good?
No, hey, I'm good, man. If it gets fired up, man, I'll jump back in here. But I am gonna boost it up and go ahead and invest with you, man. I like the way you give a voice to the people, brother. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a blessed one.
You too.
Oh yeah, homie just got up out of here. Let's see. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name. Where you from?
What's up, brother? This is Nate from New York, Harlem.
Nate, you here to debate?
Not so much debate, but, give a little bit of clarity on some issues and some things you said.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask the clarity as far as you saying that you would be involved as far as making the decisions for your daughter and her marriage.
Oh, you mean like in the mate selection process? So I would yes the mate selection mate selection process, meaning that the guys that she would be talking to or men that I see that will be good for my daughter, I will be fully involved in that mate selection process.
Absolutely.
So she doesn't end up like these modern women with a high body count or choosing the wrong guy and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll try to mitigate risk as much as possible by being fully hands-on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I figure that if you read the word of God, it says when you bring your child up in the way they should go, it will never part from them as they get older. So as you, mentoring your daughter, and you're teaching her the risk about men, how they are. Also bringing her up with a good woman that's raising her to learn how to be a woman. As the woman submits to you, then the child watches the woman. So the man teaches through instruction, the woman teaches through her actions, correct? So go ahead.
No. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I don't. I see what you're saying. That's true, man. A huge portion of women having class in chas, is viewing their father and their mother, or the father and the woman that the father selected to be in her life. They're viewing that relationship dynamic. And if the man is a masculine man and a woman is a submissive woman, she'll see that dynamic and, how, what comes about from that, relationship, those gender roles. And it's a beautiful thing, man. So I agree with what you're saying for sure. But listen, man, I'm about to hit 4 hours of streaming.
Brother.
So
ahead,
I
man.
need to eat.
I hear you, brother. I just joined Mob Ties, so I was just letting you know, bro.
Oh, yo,
I'll be seeing more of you.
Yeah, you join Mob Ties. Go ahead and shoot me a DM. We'll chop it up through via Instagram. And when I do the debate nights, or even if you have ideas for the after hour shows with the ladies, let me know your ideas and perspectives. I'll try to incorporate it in the show. There's many different perks and privileges that you'll get with that tier. So I'll be seeing more of you, man. I'll speak to you again.
Absolutely, brother. Have a good night.
All right, brother. Have a blessed one. Okay, cool. This podcast is No Fugazi. I think we got a super chat that came in. Let's see. Where we at? Okay. So Nathaniel, he did join Mob Ties. We got Carl E. Brandon, he did join the gang. I appreciate the support. We got Simpin is Dead, sends him $5. He says, you can't predict what a woman will do 10 to 20 years down the line. At least the kid will be 18 by then. That is true. Good point. Simpin is Dead. That is a good point. And that's the thing. When I was like I had that same discussion with Yada when I debated him. He was just very bad at understanding my point of view as far as I'm not against marriage. The other guy got it. He was kind of just arguing like, you know, the outcome, you know, if that's something that you would do, would you want it for your daughter? Then it was like no argument. He's like, oh, you cool with that? He was like, I mean, I agree. I don't agree with it, but you know, it is what it is. So it's not much that we disagree with. It's just of how we're going about it. One person would sign a contract and give more leverage to the woman. The other man won't sign a contract. He'll do it through a church. So that's all it is, man. But at the end of the day, this podcast was no Fugazi. I think listen, man, actually, we may not have a show this Friday because I got some things to do and other businesses to attend to. So if I get back, because I'm going to be out of town, but if I get back in time, we will have a full panel of ladies this Friday. If not, then we saving a full panels for the lady show. That's going to be next week. So I got to see if I'll be back in town in time so we could do the girl show this Friday. But if not, we still got the next debate night next Friday, and then a full panel of girls that's going to be next Friday. And what is next Friday's date too? Oh, wait. Next Friday. We could probably get it in next Friday. Let me see. That's the 27th. I'm sure that's 2 days after Christmas. Bro, Christmas is next week. Dang. I gotta go Christmas shopping. Actually, my chick already did most of the Christmas shopping. She picked the stuff on the list. I picked out a few things, but she picked out. I still gotta do some Christmas shopping. I got my mama, got my cousins, my sisters, my nieces, nephews. Okay, man, I got Christmas shopping to do. I ain't really do too much. So Christmas is next week on Wednesday. That's crazy. Okay. We may not even have we got to see. I got to speak to my recruiters and see if they can recruit some chicks for next Friday then if we don't do one this Friday. But we definitely, so we're not doing debate night on Wednesday next week because that's Christmas. So no debate night next week on Wednesday. I'm slipping in my pimping right now. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. Okay, cool. So no debate night on Wednesday because that's Christmas. We most likely going to do debate night on Monday. So this Monday coming up, which is December 23rd, that's going to be debate night since next Wednesday is Christmas. And then as far as the girl panel, for this week, possibly not. All depends on if I come back in town in time. But for next week, I got to talk to my recruiters and see if we can get chicks that's going to come for next Friday. Which, I mean, we should be able to get at least 4. But all right, man, this podcast is No Fugazi. We out. Peace. Gabby, you done. And you want to leave too? This is how our relationship goes. God over man, man over woman, woman over children.